Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. This is my Wednesday edition, the live stream. And I hope everyone has had a gracious day. It's been hot, hazy, and humid here in the red state, the Hoosier state of Indiana. That's where I reside. Now, a couple of things that I need for you all to do before I get through this chat. You got to get the likes up. If you don't get the likes up, I'm going to just cut the stream and do pre recorded content. I can do that. I've been doing it. I like doing it. It's not easy doing live streams, but I want audience participation. I'm not asking a lot for live stream, cash apps, but get the stream, hit the stream with some engagement. I'll read your comments out, but get the likes up. What's going on, Celine? What's going on, Lawrence? And please share the video. This is important content. Here on the 411 Talk Zone radio show, I deliver information. It's not whether you agree or disagree with it, but it's information that you could use if you would like to use it. So want to get the likes up. Participate in the poll. I've already gotten the poll question up. Now, tonight, I'm going to talk about a few issues. Now, if you've been following my content, many of you have heard them before, but they still have to be talked about because I'm seeing a lot more of it here in the United States. I'm going to talk about entitlement. I'm going to talk about denial. Talk about delusion. And I'm also talk about education. I mean, what does it mean to really be educated? Now, the description of the video is in my description area underneath the title, so you'll get an idea of what I said education is. And I'm also going to have, I call it open topics, open panel. You can talk about anything you want to talk about. Shout out to you, Lawrence. Thank you for liking the video. And I want just as many likes as I got views. Now, I'm not monetized, but I want everybody to support my content. This is good content, and this content can help you. And it can help you physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, that being said, I don't want to pause the video because the likes aren't up, because I will be checking the likes tonight. Hello, Mrs. Snowman. How are you? Now, likes tonight. Hello, Mrs. Snowman. One moment. All right. Okay. Pardon the interruption with the technology. Now, I want to talk about something, first of all, called entitlement. And the reason why I want to talk about that, because there seems to be a number of individuals who believe that they're entitled to something that they don't deserve. They want special rights. They want everything to go their way because they're either African American, they're a woman, LGBTQ, Caucasian, regardless of what the situation is. My question is, why should anyone be or feel entitled? And the problem I have with people who have this idea of being entitled is they become very selfish, impulsive. Now, again, I'm going to get into some psychology during this live stream. So, again, if you're not interested in psychology, because many of you out there need some help. And I'm seeing this all over the country. And something else that I'm seeing a lot of individuals out here more and more with tattoos, nose rings, colored hair, men and women. Very disgusting. There's something wrong with that. Mrs. Snowman says the spoiled is massive in this country. And that's true, Mrs. Snowman, because that's also going to go into, well, I don't have my poll up. But I should have had the poll. I did have the poll up, but one moment. Let me get. All right, I got the. Up. I do have. I finally got the poll up, and eight votes. All right, I got. Well, I got 8 votes in the poll. Hold up, one more. Here we go. 8 votes. Are there a number of delusional people in the USA? I got 8 votes already. 100% say yes. 0 say no. What's going on, Brother Nate? Shout out to Brother Nate in the chat. Brother Nate, this might be for you because we're going to be talking about some of the information, the Kendra G information you put up, because I actually did a video. I freestyled it based on Kendra G. Now, she had somebody on her show, and I'm giving an example of Delusion. She had somebody on her show named Chocha, and what I believe what it means in Spanish is vagina. And I saw a video where she was rapping about it. That's all she was talking about. Now, again, this woman is flat out delusional. And during Kendra G's show, there are a number of women on that channel, and there's some men. And Lord and behold, men, I got to ask you this question as well. Why are a number of you becoming switch hitters? I mean, there was this 42-year-old guy on Kendra G's video yesterday. He said he was looking for men and women. He had divorced from his wife, and he's a black man, of course. And I got to ask you, brothers, what's wrong with you? I had never heard this in years, where there are a number of brothers looking for both men and women. Let's get the likes up, folks. Get the likes up. So far, I got 10 watching. I should have 10 likes. Let's get the likes up. Now, shout out to Brother Nate. I saw that chubby, light-skinned chick. Brother Nate, I'd like you to come to the panel pretty soon so we can discuss it, because I saw it too. Her name was Chocha on that video. And again, I did a video yesterday. And for everybody who's a YouTuber, male and female, you should be offended what Kendra G said. She called us all little fish. She said without her, we wouldn't make any money. Now, what Kendra G did not understand is, before she even hit these YouTube streets, we were already established. People like me, we were already making money. Now, again, I'm not knocking what she does, but she's a bit delusional, thinking that we have depended on her content. Now, from my humble opinion, she took some of the late KS's talking points because she really wants to be another KS. She does. The bottom line is, the women who come on her show and some of the men are very delusional and immature at best. Shout out to Brother Nate. Without KS, she wouldn't be doing anything on YouTube. That's a fact. And regardless of what anybody said about the late KS, he was pretty much fair with the men, just like he was fair with the women, except the women could not deal with the truth. And I see that, especially amongst the ABW, because they're so used to doing the criticizing, being in control of what the brothers can say, because they want to control the relationship. Let's just be honest. Not all ABWs, but a number of them. But in the end, when it comes to the brothers didn't have a platform in the early days. Yeah, I know there's some people that disagree with the mainstream media, but so many sisters appeared on the mainstream media back in the 90s. Color Purple. See, a lot of people don't see what's going on out here with this delusion. And what TV is a good marketer to women because a number of women are gullible and they live their lives through the television. And when they get from under the idiot box, that's what my dad used to call it, the dumb maker, they portray the images and the lifestyles that they see on television to the real world. And this is what social media has done as well. Social media has given individuals who would not ordinarily have any type of looks in the real world, it's given them a voice. It's allowing the undesirables to think they're tens and they're not. And I rate based on your personality. And a lot of what I see is you have a number of hungry or thirsty men going to the DMs of some of these women and they're gassing these women up who don't deserve it. Now, of course, my problem with the men is men are also doing it on YouTube. Men don't want to support male content, but yet they love to go over there and support that female content because in their own minds, they believe it is much better to hear from a woman than a man. Salute, brother Angry Snowman. The majority of this country is full blown delusional, suffering from a form of schizophrenia as well. Let me read that again because that's 100% facts. Thank you, Angry Snowman. The majority of this country is full blown delusional, suffering from a form of schizophrenia as well. And Mrs. Snowman, scientific studies have shown women are more prone to believing whatever is on TV more than men. Absolutely. In the black community, one of the big focuses on women, and he really loves women's points of views. That's Tyler Perry. Now, Tyler Perry was molested. But see, Tyler Perry looks at how dirty the men were, but I understand that he was also molested by a woman. See, he's not going to mention that because his audience is all women. And a number of black women watch Tyler Perry. There's only one Tyler Perry, and I saw it. Tommy Jean saw it. Guy King saw it. I was one of the third ones to see it. It was called Acrimony. You don't hear about that anymore. You don't hear about that because it was too red pilled. It didn't go to the narrative of what we see in the black community. Cyber toxins, shout out to you. If men were to lead according to women, they would become that of either one. Facts. What's going on, Brother G? Let's get the likes up. Get the likes up. Want everybody to be engaged. I got 8 watching, 9 likes. Good. Let's continue to get the likes up and bring more people into the 401 Talk Zone radio show as I do this live. Angry Snowman. That's because they're running on nothing but bitch energy. Bitch energy finds more bitch energy. Facts. And do you see how delusion, entitlement, and also denial, they basically intersect one another. And when they intersect one another, this is when you start to get into other areas like selfishness, Machiavellianism, and on down the road to you get somebody that sounds like a full blown psychopath. Now, if you're familiar with the dark triad, three legs of the triangle include Machiavellianism, narcopathy, and psychopathy. Schizophrenia is also in there as well. Now, again, I'm just going to say this here in this country as I go back to the poll. The poll that I have up, are there a number of people in this country who are delusional? And I say yes. And the more I watch Kendra G's videos, the more I watch KS's videos, I saw a lot of delusional people, and they were looking for something and they knew they weren't in a position to get something. And when you try to tell them that, they did not want to hear it. Why? Because in their mind, and this is what's in the mind of a delusional person, you can throw as many facts at them as you want. They don't believe what you say because what they say counts. Let me give you an example. If you have an individual who is undesirable to most of us, but to themselves, they're a 10, you're never going to convince anybody. And see, what happens to delusional people, they become very, very impulsive. I don't even want to use the word stubborn. They become very, very impulsive with their thoughts. They become impulsive because they cannot see the real world. You cannot have a conversation. You will not be able to change the attitude of somebody who is in their mind delusional. Because usually when you have delusion, followed by delusion, you also have denial. Now, they're two different items. The reason why you have denial after delusion is because an individual that's telling the person who is not looking at anything from a realistic point of view, the delusional person, well, the person who's delusional and they're being told that they're delusional, they're going to deny everything. It's like you put that mirror up to them, and when they look at that mirror, they're going to deny it's them. They're going to say it's not me, when in essence, we know it is them. Again, men and women, make yourself comfortable in the seats. Welcome to the 411 Talk Zone radio show. Now, I'm one that does drop the link early. So you can come up anytime you want. Got the poll question up. I'm talking about delusional people. And I think you have a number of them in the academic field too. Because what does it really mean to be educated? Just because you have a college degree, it does not mean you are educated. It means you have met the requirements within your curriculum to graduate. Then you've met the minimum requirements of a job that is looking for somebody with your degree. I'll give you an example. Good evening, Jenny V. I have a degree in civil engineering. I had to have a degree in civil engineering because that was the requirement that I needed to get a civil engineering job. Again, I am not knocking people with education, but you have a number of them who believe that when they have an education or a degree that they're better than somebody who doesn't. Now, it used to be in the past, many people who could work with their hands had skills. If you didn't have any type of skill, you couldn't get in a place like the mill. You couldn't get in a factory or a manufacturing plant. And people with degrees, they have the book sense. But can they apply that book sense to the real world? And I tell you, a number of them can't. You hear all these studies coming from these academics, and that's also spread here into the real world. In fact, most of your individuals who are on the left side of the political spectrum, they go to college. They go to college, a number of them in the 60s, because they wanted to avoid going to the Vietnam War. They didn't care to fight for this country, but they wanted the benefits from this country. Angry Snowman says, I don't think men with bass in their voice exist past the early millennial generation. Bunch skinny jeans wearing, no nuts having, simp enforcing manginas, walking around with permanent up there, you know what. Facts too. Well, I can tell you this right now. More and more of those types of guys are coming out, brother Angry Snowman, as well. I mean, when I'm seeing men, men getting their nails done, men wearing different color hair, men wearing a lot of earrings, men looking just like women, acting like women, men not being able to make decisions, that's troublesome. And it's problematic because men in the past, they weren't ashamed to be men. Men have allowed society to beat them down to make them feel bad. I don't feel bad going out there to be a man. I was born a man and I'm going to die a man. Brother Lawrence says, you see a lot of guys wearing skinny jeans. I don't like it. I have no piercings or tattoos. Now, again, it's funny when we talk about the piercings and tattoos. I'm not a fan of them either, but I'm seeing a lot of women with the piercings and tattoos. In fact, when I go to work in Frankfort, Indiana, that's all I see. And these are Caucasian women that tattoos on their neck, tattoos on their back, tattoos on their front, sleeve tattoos, and they're smoking a cigarette. Now, we criticize the black woman, but there are a number of these white women out here who look like who did it and ran as well. And I'm not giving them a pass either. See, I'm one of the ones who lives in the area around a number of Caucasian people, and a number of the white chicks do the same thing, different color hair. And their hair colors are green, pink, and blue. And shout out to brother Angry Snowman. I got your message in my email that you're going to be interviewing Brandon Caserta, one of the men who was acquitted. Now, he was acquitted for trying to kidnap the governor of Michigan. That should be a good interview. And everybody, like, share, and subscribe to the Angry Snowman's channel. Now, I do have the link up. If anybody wants to come on up, I'm welcome to come on up. I'm not a guy that likes to talk all night, but I will, and I will show some videos as well. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. But again, delusion. Delusion's a problem. Now, I did a video on delusion and some of the things I read about delusion. Brother Men's Daily says the real delusion was on both the Kevin Samuels show and Jason Black, the business show on YouTube. So many women and men were exposed big time. Absolutely. Now, again, Brother Men's Daily is right. This is not a woman or man bashing session. But it is true that there are a lot of delusional people, and delusional people are very dangerous. And you have a number of them who are in Congress, in the Senate. They don't understand how the real world works, and they want to take their ideas and put them on the rest of us. And a number of delusional people act off of emotion. They act off of what they think is happening. It's not the truth. And they actually believe it. Now, a part of schizophrenia is when you're actually believing something and you're saying it's true, even when it's pointed out to you that it's not true. And the person pointing it out to you has facts that are telling you it's not true. They are believing the lie. And the delusional people, when they're deceived, these are the individuals living on false hope, false self-esteem. This is why I always say never listen to a politician. The politicians can create delusion. The politicians give you the hope that something is going to happen, but in actuality, it doesn't because the politicians on both sides of the aisle have been paid off. You can hit the Cash App as you if you want. Everybody in the wrench, everybody who has a wrench, um, if you have a channel, spam your channel in there. I know Men's Daily has a channel. I know the Angry Snowman has a channel. Jenny V has a channel. Like, share, and subscribe to their channels as well. And keep the likes up. Engage. I'm not asking for Cash App. You see what's going across my banner? Let's get the likes up and keep the likes up. I'm going to be doing it every video from now on. All right, back to delusion. Do any of you believe that delusion is a part of deception? I mean, there are some fast talking men and women out there that can really get the weak to do anything. And when you keep people living a lie, you create a dumb society. That's why I really start off with delusion. Then you have a number of individuals who have this attitude of entitlement. I want to say no one's entitled to anything. Salute E. Taylor 704. Welcome to the chat. But when it comes to delusion, again, delusion is followed by denial. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to hurt some people. A number of us need therapy. But to take it one step further, a number of the therapists need therapy as well. You have individuals who are majoring in psychology, and they have no idea what they're doing. And in the end, some of them might be lying to you. Jenny V says, delusion is where you are expected to support someone who doesn't recognize their gender, but we're not expected to support a person who talks to imaginary people. Also, Men's Daily, I don't utilize PayPal too much, but I will post it. I will post it. I'm not a PayPal fan because PayPal, you have to wait for your funds for the most part, sometimes 7 days, but I'll see what I can do about that. But I only put the PayPal and the Cash App up, and that's only at your discretion. I just want you to come view the videos, like and share the videos, and bring some subscribers. That's the support I want because it takes audience like you to keep my channel going. And I'll keep bringing up the content as requested or the topics that I want to do that I believe that are going to help people. Now, again, I am not a psychologist. I'm a civil engineer by trade, but delusion affects all of us. You may recognize the delusion in your family. You may recognize delusion at work. The problem is it's dangerous. It's very dangerous because you're dealing with people who don't have any idea of what the real world is. I got a new person in my chat. Sports for America says, yes, there's people who have no clue what's going on in the real world. People don't take time to do research. I am more of a Cash App more than PayPal when it comes to content. Well, welcome to the chat, Sports for America. All I'm asking is keep the likes up and participate in my poll. And I'm going to go back to my poll right now. I've gotten 15 votes so far. Our Are there a number of delusional people in the United States? So far, got 100% after 15 votes. Again, keep the likes up. Moving on. Education. I talk about education a lot, and I'm going to say this. I'm not telling anybody not to go get an education. I believe education is beneficial if you know how to use it right. But just because you get an education, it doesn't mean that you are educated. Okay. To me, again, being educated is learning how to apply the concepts to the real world. Most people believe that they get that piece of paper. Heck, you can say you're educated by getting a high school diploma, but what did you do? You completed 4 years of high school. You met all the criteria that your high school or your public school or whatever school system you had required. But does that make you smarter than the next person? No. What you learn in college, particularly on a baccalaureate level, is the basics. Because on a baccalaureate level, the first 2 years of your degree are going to come from history or humanities, sociology, psychology. They want you to be well rounded. When you get into your last 2 years of the baccalaureate level, where you get into your major. I know. But to be well rounded is you have to be able to listen to points of view that are outside your point of view. And I talk about freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is not just speech that I agree with, it's also speech that I don't agree with. Now, some people don't like the Ku Klux Klan. I don't like the Ku Klux Klan or the Impossible Empire. But if they have a point of view, even if it's not true and they don't hurt anybody, let them have a point of view. The conscious blacks, I don't agree with everything they say, but they have a right to a freedom of speech. Now, the problem with this country is we have certain groups who want to shut speech down unless it's their speech. And what happens, these are the people who want to tell you what to think and how to think. These are very delusional people. And you know, delusional people are very dangerous people. They're dangerous because they really don't see what's going on in their own heads. They hear themselves talking, they believe what they're saying is true, and sometimes they get very impulsive and they make up all kinds of information as they go along. It's like a compulsive liar. Because a person has lied so much, they have to keep lying. But what happens? They forget the lies they told. They can't track the lies they told. Well, people who are compulsive, they think just like that too. And delusion is very compulsive. And when you attack delusion, you're attacked back with shame, blame, and explanation. I hear that here on YouTube, SBE. What's going on, Cool Kamasi? Shout out to you, Clue. Welcome to the chat. But there are a lot of individuals up here who have all the education in the world and they're still stupid. A number of them have delusional thoughts, they're in denial, and they believe they're entitled. Now, if you think about it, those are behavior traits that are dangerous. This is why you have the deception in the United States of America and in the West. A lot of your feminists, okay, they're taking everything from an emotional standpoint, a misandrist standpoint, because they don't like the way Men have built the world, but they haven't built it. But yet they sit in a world that has been built by men, criticize the men, but they're allowed to be comfortable in a world that they didn't build. And they have this idea, I can do anything you can do, but better. But they haven't done it. That's a delusional thought. Because if they could do it better, they would have done it better. You look at the WNBA out there, okay? The reason why the WNBA is not as good as the NBA is because the product's no good. So what happens with people like the feminists and like some of your blacks out there, they then go into what we call the fetus mode. Some of them feel defeated, or some of them are defeated. They go into the victimhood stage because they want individuals to feel sorry for them. Men's Daily says there's some people who believe if you disagree with their one point of view, then they believe you will disagree with everything they say instead of being well-rounded, being a well-rounded individual on different topics. That's a fact. And Clue coming with the heat. WNBA players are overpaid. I don't know how much they make, Clue, because I don't watch the WNBA. There used to be another women's league a long time ago. It folded. It was called the ABL, folded a long time ago. But I do notice that the WNBA, they get subsidies from the NBA. Now, that's a problem. Why? Because in order to pay the subsidies to the WNBA from the NBA, what does the NBA have to do? They have to raise their ticket prices. So that means in order to support another league that I don't watch, I got to pay higher ticket prices. Right around 150K. Well, that's not bad, really. I don't know how many games the WNBA plays, but I don't see it as that good brand of ball. I mean, the women's team, the Connecticut Huskies, play better than most of them anyway. And Notre Dame and Stanford, South Carolina, Duke and Maryland. I'll go watch the NCAA tournament, the women's tournament, for free instead of paying all that money. But back to the topic at hand. I really worry about delusional people. I really worry about people who are in denial because these are the people in power. These are the people who are trying to tell us how to think, trying to tell us how to date. Now, again, if you all are familiar with Kendra G, I don't have any problem with what she does, but when Kendra G said yesterday, when Cho Cha, that was her name, the chocolate girl, got up there and said there are men out there who are anti Kendra. Well, first of all, I don't watch Kendra G for Kendra G. I watch it for the foolish women on that show and the men. Shout out to Brother A Truism Words of the Storm Crow, and shout out again to Clue. And both of them have channels, and want everybody to like, share, and subscribe to their channels. All right, the Angry Snowman, the entitlement statement. I'm a few minutes behind, but the entitlement seems to be a white woman's disease. Well, you might want to come up here and explain that to me, Brother Angry Snowman. Again, I have the link. I'm one that believes in dropping the link. I drop it twice. I'm 40 minutes past the hour. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's keep the likes up. I want engagement here on this Wednesday edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show for your late comers. Again, for you late comers, I'm talking about entitlement, talking about education, talking about delusion, denial, and what makes you educated. Basically, all these topics tie into one another. And of course, any topic that you want to talk about, that's why I have open panel. I also have a poll up there. And are there a number of people who are delusional? The last time I checked, I had 15. Now I have 20. And The 20 votes that I have, all of them say yes. They're a number of delusional people. Again, keep the likes, keep the views up. But again, talking about psychology as well. When you deal with people, you have to look at their behavior. Shout out to brother Deshaun, who was on Nate's show last night. Mr. Snowman says women in general are the most entitled, not just white women. That's a fact. Now, the reason why women are the most entitled, because not all women, yes, we know not all women, but in general, the reason why they are, I'm going to tell you why a number of them are entitled. Because of us as men. Who was actually running all the media platforms? Men. Who was running the politics? Men. You have a number of men who are very thirsty, desperate. Simps really come from desperate men. And what these desperate men do, they tell women what they want to hear. So when you gas a number of these women up, even if they are undesirable, you're gassing them up to have sex with them. But a number of these women, they don't care who they sleep with. They'll sleep with a cucumber if you give it to them. They will. Why? Because in the end, they believe what they have between their legs is powerful. And in the end, it's only powerful if you are a desperate man and you don't know any better. And you put out all your money for it. So that's where the delusion comes in. So we men cause the delusion. We men cause the deception. And this is what I want to tell all men. Have standards. If you're being called an incel, take it. Be called an incel. Use your skills for you. Too many of us have been told we have to do something for the opposite sex. And if you're a woman, don't deal with a man who's delusional either, because you have a number of men who think they look good, even the ones who are broke. And this is a problem. I mean, this country has allowed the undesirables to have a microphone. And back in the 80s, 70s, you wouldn't hear from these undesirable people. But now you got the Lizzos out there. Then you got people like Billy Porter out there. Got all these celebrities out here. They're promoting all this nonsense. Then you got both political parties out here. They all have, we call them grifters, but they all have an attitude of entitlement. The clue says crazy Luciferian women. But these individuals, they don't understand the general public. And the reason why they don't understand the general public, because they don't live around the general public. One thing I want to say is a lot of these individuals have a clique. The problem with the clique is the clique doesn't know anything outside. It's like a big echo chamber. And the problem with that is they never grow. I mean, you have people like Joy Behar on TV. These individuals think they know about politics. They're the most delusional people. But what they don't understand, Disney gives them a job. They forget that. You have a number of people on ESPN who should be talking sports. And, one of the reasons why I don't watch too much sports, I used to watch ESPN, NFL Network, They put all these women on it. Now, I'm not against women who are on these sports shows, but know something about the game of football. Affirmative action doesn't mean you know anything. And that's the problem. We've allowed affirmative action to create this delusional type of society too, because companies have to hire a certain amount of men, a certain amount of women. That's not fair. You see, in society, you have to be able to compete. And if you can't compete in one area, try something different. Everybody's not made the same. Everybody doesn't think the same. But you have to get to know who you are and what you're doing. Again, I got the link posted in the chat. If anybody wants to come up, because usually I do about an hour. It's already opened up as soon as you get on here. But again, let's keep the likes up. Keep engaged. Now, going back to some psychology. And I like doing psychology because it really defines behavior. Now, is delusion a disorder? Is delusion a mental health issue? I'm not a psychologist, but I believe it is a mental health issue. And the only way you can really cure delusion, because there are different types of delusion. I did the video on delusion. Celine says maybe the Looney Tune guy will come on. Oh, I believe the Looney Tunes guy, he could have had some autism. I was very patient with him. But he had some very good Looney Tunes. I'm not saying he's loony. He was just different. And here on my channel, I like different people. I try to promote his channel as well. I try to promote everybody's channel here. But again, I know there are a number of individuals out there who watch Kendra G's videos. And Kendra G, I used to hear her when I lived in the Chicago area every day on the morning show on WGCI 107.5 FM. If anybody's from Chicago, they know her. People like Hardcore Tito and Black Ram and Mr. Rowe and Minister Jap, they all know who she is. Darius M., they're from Chicago. They would tell you all about Kendra G. Now, again, Kendra G is just a journalist. She went to Hampton University. Salute her for that. HBCU. She got a degree in journalism. Not saying she doesn't do good in her job, but she is not a relationship specialist. And she doesn't understand that people are going to use her content for reaction videos. And they're critiquing, and you're allowed to use people's content for reaction videos. Now you have to start it and you have to stop it. You just can't play the whole video. No, but she really believes that if we use her content, she's going to try to get us flagged. But she only says that about the black male content creators. She doesn't say anything about the black female content creators. Shout out to Clue. Clue says she's another KS clone like Melanie King. Facts. You know what, brother Clue? I've only seen Melanie King on Ringo TV Raw show. I've never seen any of her content. It shows you how much I get over there to female content. The only female content I've actually watched in its entirety has been Patricia Dixon and Denver Knights. I've never even, except for Nate putting Pink Pill Lessons content up there, I've never watched it. I've never watched Danica, what is her name? Danica Marie. never watched her stuff or Crimson Cure stuff. I just hear the names. And I'm not really interested in their stuff anyway, because what they do is just like Ashley W., another delusional one, would take the talking points that men put out and put a womanist point of view in just to make money. That's what Jessica X does. Wasn't a fan of hers either. Never even heard her. But there were guys over there in Jessica X's DM or on her channel. Guys are falling in love with her. She never canned up or anything. But she made a lot of money off of guys because a lot of you guys were desperate. Bad move. Bad investment. She's only out there to make money. In fact, Kendra G is making money off of these delusional women as well. That is her audience. And what she doesn't understand, and she's delusional herself, because she's one of the sisters, she rarely ever tells these delusional women anything. Deshaun says, it seems ever since KS death, I noticed a lot of female YouTube expert channels are much bigger. Brother Deshaun, I can give you my humble opinion on that. It's because a number of them are guys going over there on her channel. That's what's happening. Again, you guys out there who are imagining sleeping with these women, you're never going to do it. They will take your money and you're going to enrich them. Meanwhile, a number of you guys out there don't support male content. This is why people like me and brother Nate. Now, Nate is a little bit more hardcore with the cash apps than I am. I want my audience to participate in viewing my information so individuals can come on to my channel and see what I'm talking about, because I don't care who you are. This is what individuals take for granted. Without an audience, I don't care how good your content is. I don't even care what kind of studio you have, what kind of equipment you have. If your audience doesn't like you, if your audience doesn't trust you, guess what? You're not even going to have a platform. Brother Clue says, because KS is not around to expose the BS. Cybertoxin says, hyenas are not actually happy. They just laugh to numb the pain of getting mounted by their queen. Wow. Very, very good point. Again, you know what? That's a good point, Brother Toxin, and I'm gonna break it down. You know, you have some people. This is where the delusion comes in as well. You have an individual who's really down on their lives, and sometimes they will bring out something that's not true to make themselves feel good. They really have a low self-esteem. They're very, very defeated. And what makes them feel good is when they can lash out at somebody else. They can call somebody else a name. They can blame somebody else. But really, the onus is on them. And when you have individuals who are in a delusional state, many of them, they just don't do any type of research, and they have a bunch of opinions. And let me tell you something. We all can have an opinion. Everybody's opinion is not weighted the same. I don't do personal opinions. I want an opinion backed up by something. Now, I know there are people out there criticizing a Mary Brown. I've never seen his content either. I know he started from Nate calls her baby number 5. And then I guess they had a falling out and he's back in play. But see, he will tell women what they want to hear, and women will support him until he changes his mind. This is why you have to be consistent. If women don't like my content, they don't have to come over here because this is primarily a man's channel anyway. That's what I designed it for. Over to the women's channel. If you want them to lie to you, I won't lie to you here. Brother Angry Snowman, same thing Delusional Monster does on her channel. Brother Angry Snowman, who is the Delusional Monster? You have to let me know who that is. Let me know who that is. Again, anybody that wants to come up, the link is in the chat. I'm getting close to an hour. Let's continue to get the likes up. Get the likes up. Appreciate everybody for being in here. I'm at 58 minutes and 19 seconds. But you do have a lot of delusional people. What they're doing here on YouTube is they're putting out some false information. They're reading the wrong books, and men do it too. And see, if I make a mistake here, or even when I do a pre-recorded video, I go back and in my comment section, I write corrected, because we all make mistakes. But there are a number of us who feel good about living a lie. They don't want the truth to be told because in reality, the truth does hurt. Some things in life don't feel good. It's like being a child. A beating doesn't feel good, but a beating is going to remind you that if you commit a certain act that's not representative of good moral behavior in your household, you're going to feel pain. But you have individuals who believe that everything is totally equal. Everybody is beautiful. Well, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder as well. Beauty is subjective, but delusion is not subjective. Entitlement is not subjective. We have too many people that are looking to get into something, but they really have no recourse on why they want it. They, in their mind, they feel entitled because they're a woman. They're a man. They're privileged. They have an education. Again, going back on the education, you don't have to go to school to get an education. You can read and be educated. Malcolm X didn't go to college, but he was a very smart man. Martin Luther King went to college, but he and Malcolm X were on the same level. You look at Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. They dropped out of college and they're billionaires. And a number of us use their platforms. Look at Steve Jobs. These individuals never walked across the college stage in their life to get a diploma or a baccalaureate degree. What they did, they had an idea, and they had an idea that people could use. And it spread like cancer. And remember, they had to start somewhere. Now these individuals are powerhouses in the media and in the social media world. You can be educated with an idea. You just have to convince people that your product is going to work. That's what Bill Gates, that's what Jeff Bezos did. Sam Walton, they came up with concepts. And then they got a team to market it for them once they made enough money. And see, the problem with people, and this is where delusion comes in as well, get some individuals thinking that with no experience, they come in the workforce and start off at the top without any experience. That doesn't work. That's a total lie. And a number of us, we have been lied to. Some of us believe the lie. Sounds good. Some of us live the lie. Makes you gullible. The problem is when you see reality, you're going to be disappointed. That's why a number of you live the lie. Again, let me check the poll. So far, I have 23 votes. Are there a number of delusional people in the USA? 100% yes, 0 no. Let's continue to get the likes up. Get the likes up. Again, talking about delusion, talking about denial. Have we been in denial? Have I been in denial before? Absolutely. So that light bulb comes on. Shout out to Mrs. Snowman. So many people think they should be paid the same as people who have been doing the job for 20 years and they're just out of school. That's a fact. Just because you have had 3 internships that were 3 months long or 4 internships, you still have to pay your dues out here in the real world. And that's what individuals don't understand. Here in America, and I'm going to say this, I fought for my country for 17 years, 4 years active, 13 years reserve. Okay. One thing that people will always do, they'll tell you about the dream, but for some of us, the dream isn't coming. And the reason why the dream isn't coming because many of us don't have the resources. Now, many of us can still live the dream based on what we get into. And are we willing to relocate? Angry Snowman says, I have people at my work applying for part-time starter positions and they think they should be higher at a higher pay than I make. That's a fact as well. And see, that's that delusion. You're welcome, Lawrence. Thank you for acknowledging my service as well. God bless you. That's the problem. And see, the biggest thing that I will get from delusional people because they are gullible, they're in denial, and they feel entitled, or they believe they're entitled. I don't like to use the word feel. They believe they're entitled. They really have an attitude of selfishness. They think they're above reproach. They think they cannot be touched. And again, that's what's going to happen to Kendra G. She thinks that she's above reproach. What's going on, brother? Angry Snowman.
I think you need to get your glasses checked there, buddy.
What's that, brother?
You need to get your eyes checked. You better get that prescription looked up because you called my wife Miss Angry Snowman.
Oh, my bad.
I don't have titties.
Oh, we know that. Yeah. Hey, I don't know what it is. The eyes get bad. I'm wearing these, bro. They're 150s. So what's going on, bro?
Not a whole lot, brother. Been busy last couple weeks. This week's been a busy week, getting everything ready. Boys start school tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yep. First day of school tomorrow.
Well, I know you've been watching. You've been hearing about the Donald Trump situation. I said, I know Angry Snowman's got something on this. And
I'm going to tell you what, I have my theory. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
I think it's I don't think it's a coincidence that they rolled out that quote unquote inflation bill that had money in it to hire 82,000 new IRS agents, and then and then 2 days later they send an FBI SWAT team down to Florida to basically try and arrest Trump.
Something is extremely wrong there. Now there's a brother up here, and you already know him, brother, named RBR. He thinks Trump's gonna get arrested.
I think they're trying to arrest him, but I mean they've been trying to arrest him since the day he walked down that escalator and announced that he was going to run for president.
Yeah, he was impeached twice, only by the House because.
Well, the House is the only body of Congress that can impeach him.
The Senate can remove him, but you need 66 people.
The House actually they vote to impeach him. The Senate, what they do is they are the ones that they're the jury. They impose the penalty.
Yeah.
So you catch what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, Deshaun says lawmakers enacted an inflation bill, but Biden is telling America we're not in inflation. Now, I got a theory out here, brother Angry Snowman.
I'll tell you what, man. If this delusional non-recession that they think we aren't in isn't real, then explain to me why my cupboards are recessing, my gas is recessing. My ability to go out and have fun is recessing. I can't buy ammo because the price of that is inflated. So my ammo stock is recessing. Everything's recessing. Fuck them, dude.
Food is going. Now, about gas. Gas is going to go up again.
Yeah, because what people don't understand is right now the only reason why gas prices are going down is because Biden actually cleaned out all of our strategic oil.
So he's going over to the OPEC to he wanted 1 million barrels a day. Now he's not getting that.
Right. So with him basically cleaning out our strategic oil reserve, which Trump had stockpiled. When Trump was in office, we had so much oil stockpiled. If you remember correctly, they had oil cargo ships sitting in the ocean waiting for a place to store oil.
And we were.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that because we were more energy independent, not dependent. Now, you look.
Yeah, we were actually selling oil to the rest of the world for the first time in history.
And we had pipelines, we had fracking, and dealing with this delusion, brother Angry Snowman. The politicians really, they really don't understand energy. They don't understand fracking. They don't understand infrastructure at all because they've been grifting all their lives. They've been living off us.
What they do understand, though, is writing bullshit bills loaded with nothing but pork that line their own pocketbacks and the sweat of the American people. That's what they do understand.
Well, see, we know that, but you got America. See, what it is, you have a number of Americans, not only are they delusional, they're in denial. They're out here. They think a politician is going to help them. Politicians going to give them. They are.
I'm talking about most of the population of America. They're politically inept. They don't even understand politics. They don't know how politics works. They don't understand how the body of politics works. They don't understand how Congress runs. They couldn't even tell you what the three branches of.
You got that. Yeah, you got that right. They don't even know. I mean, we have a parliamentary style system that was from England. However, the Democratic Republic, you want to know where that style of government came from? It's here, came from Italy.
Well, the Democratic Republic was a hijack of the Constitutional Republic.
Well, yeah, true.
Because it was not supposed to be a democratic republic. We were supposed to be a constitutional republic that was represented by a representative Congress.
Yeah, we don't have that. We have what we call Congress lining their own pockets.
No, what we have is a bunch of fucking thieves.
Yeah, they're all and you know what? I have come, and I already knew it. It doesn't matter whether they have a D or an R on their sleeve.
Absolutely not.
It really doesn't. Most of us who are realistic about politics, we don't think on either extreme. We basically are center. Now, I may be a little center right, but basically I'm the center. We believe in common sense. These guys don't believe in common sense. In fact, they gerrymander the districts so challengers can't beat them in primaries, and a lot of money is funneled to them. Now, do you know when the campaigns get that money, even if the let's say the incumbent loses, they get to keep that money.
Yeah. That's like a lot of people don't realize, you know how technically lobbying is illegal in Washington. Lobbyists are not allowed to go to Washington and lobby in Congress to congressmen and women. All right. So how Congress works around that, you know how they have that quote unquote dues system, right?
Oh,
They have dues that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, each member has to pay dues to the party, right? Well, you know how they get their dues, right? They go across the street from the Capitol building, and there's a office over there with a big ass phone book with a bunch of numbers in it. And rather than lobbyists lobby Congress, Congress lobbies the lobbyists now.
And you know what else? You got some of these groups headed by ex-politicians who are still getting money too. They go and get these consulting groups up, and they're getting money. So
now this is my question. Okay, this is something that I've been trying to rack my brain about for a long time to try and come up with a actual reasonable understanding of why this is going on. Why are they taxing us so damn hard if Congress is lobbying the lobbyists and getting millions of dollars in, you know, corporate subsidies?
that, you know,
And it's probably probably closer to billion.
what are taxing us so hard? Because they really want two classes of people. They want us to be poor. That's what they want. If you look at it, let's look at the city of Chicago. Although I don't live in the city of Chicago, it has that same system: the haves, the have-nots. In Chicago, in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and in Baltimore, those cities are also very segregated, if you know what I mean. Very.
Yes, sir.
I don't know I don't know if Indianapolis is like that yet.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. When I lived down in Indy, it was kind of hit and miss from election year to election year, according to who the governor was and who the mayor was down there.
Yeah, Indy is. Sometimes I can't figure Indy out.
Yeah, it's an anomaly. It really is, because you'll have you'll have seasons like in 2021 when Indy took over for more murders per capita than Chicago. But then, 3-4 years later, you'll have, 2 or 3 seasons of Indy being one of the greatest cities to go to and hang out, and no problems, and everybody's getting along, and it's kumbaya and, hippie festival 24/7 down there. It's weird.
But they got a lot of money, Angry Snowman, in Indy. They got a lot of money down there. It is.
Well, have you ever noticed when you're down in Indy, downtown? Have you ever noticed how downtown, right as you're going down, what is it?
Ohio Street, Michigan Street?
Meridian. As you're going down Meridian to come into town, and you go past, you're coming up, and right before you get to the Circle Center Monument.
Yes.
Or right there, from the monument all the way back to where the library is.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever noticed how that's set up? What it's modeled after?
No, I didn't. No.
Go down there the next time you're in Indy and walk from the monument or where the library is, and then look from the library all the way across that big green and grassy area to the museum, the history museum that's on the other side,
which is off Ohio Street.
Right. Okay. Take a really close look at that and tell me if that doesn't look like a scaled down version of the National Mall.
I got it pictured in my mind, Because the National Mall has the reflecting pool.
Yep. And look, dude, if you're coming off on Ohio Street and you're standing, you come back from the monument and you're standing right there where they just got done doing the construction on the World History Museum, right there. Okay.
You know what?
You stand on them steps and you look out. The History Museum would be the Jefferson Monument. All right. And you're looking across, you got reflecting pool number 1. Then you got the Washington Monument, the big ass obelisk right in the middle, reflecting pool number 2. Then you got the fucking what is it? The Eternal Flame with the big what are they? Those Egyptian things on either side of it, like they have at Kennedy.
Pyramids?
Huh?
You're talking about the pyramids?
No, I forget what they're like Egyptian kind of god looking things. They're down on their knees with wings on their back.
Sphinxes?
Yeah, there's 2 sphinxes down there staring at each other with a big like tomb, like Kennedy's tomb, where the Eternal Flame is. All right, yeah. And then the library would be that would be what is it? The Lincoln Memorial.
Oh, okay, Lincoln Memorial,
and then on either side, you have all those buildings going down each side of it. There would be the Smithsonian museums.
Yeah,
dude, it's laid out just like a miniature scaled down version of the National Mall.
You know what? Now we got to go into all our cities and start looking at it. And salute Awesome Alice. Welcome back home from Tennessee. She says, Angry Snowman looks like he's going on a safari trip. Oh, he's ready to battle somebody. Yeah, tell us what's going on with Michigan. I mean, you know.
Well, right now, everybody, I'm pretty sure everybody's aware that all but 3 guys have been acquitted. Okay. One guy, he ended up turning as he decided to be for whatever reason, decided to take a plea bargain with the feds and ended up copping himself a 7-year bit of federal time. All right. Then you have because there's a total of 15 guys that were arrested. Then you have you subtract him, you got 14 left. You got 12 that were acquitted on the state and federal charges. Okay, everybody's been released except for 2 guys, Barry Croft and Adam Fox. Barry Croft and Adam Fox are the ones that they touted as the ringleaders. Barry Croft was the one from Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, he was the one with the mangly beard. Looked like he basically looked. He wore the tricorn hat and all that shit.
Yes.
Okay. And he's actually a really good guy. Okay. And then Adam Fox was the guy from up in Michigan that lived in the vacuum shop basement. Okay. All right. They had a mistrial. Everyone else was acquitted, but those 2 had a mistrial. For some reason, the jury couldn't come to an agreement on them. Now, their second round trial started today. Those 2. Right now, the prosecution is presenting their case, I think, today and tomorrow. And I think from what Brandon was telling me today when I talked to him, that I think next week is when the defense gets to present their case.
So we're getting
but the thing is if everyone else was acquitted, there's no reason why Adam and Barry shouldn't be acquitted, because the evidence is still the same for all of them. The evidence that was presented and that was showed that every bit of the whole Michigan hoax, because that's what it was a hoax, was set up, staged, funded, and it was actually pushed by the FBI agents that were investigating everyone.
Well,
the very agents that were supposed to be investigating people were the ones that actually set everything up.
Yeah, shout out to Awesome Alice. You see, Trump was raided by the feds. They're going after everyone. Oh,
well, see, and that's something that, everybody knows how I feel about Trump, but that's something that people need to think about too.
Yeah.
You do realize that that's the first president in American history that has had a federal indictment put on him and had the feds come in and, raid his shit like stormtroopers.
Yeah, he's the first one that's been impeached twice by the House.
And explain this to me. They're claiming that the reason why they sent feds over there is because he had 15 boxes of confidential, not classified, but confidential, government paperwork from the White House. Right? That's what they're claiming. Now, my memory might be a little foggy, but I'm pretty sure when the Clintons left the White House,
yeah,
they walked out with furniture, paintings, antiques.
They did.
And I didn't see the feds storming their mansion.
Shout out to brother Nate. He says Arizona, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, and Minnesota, all hoaxes. Alice says the raid reminds me of Soviets, especially after the 6th show trial. Well,
what's going on right now with our government? Look, dude. Our country has been hijacked. It really has. Our government they do not represent us anymore.
No, they don't.
At all whatsoever. And it shows. I mean, look, you got Pelosi, who is wrapped up in a insider trading scandal right now.
Which Martha Stewart, she got arrested for that.
You got, I'll just lay it down like this. If they were to actually investigate Congress and what happened to all that $6.4 trillion CARES package that Trump signed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, remember that.
I guarantee every one of them in Congress would be sitting in federal prison right now for embezzlement.
Yeah. Or they could.
But instead, rather than investigating Congress and all these congressmen and women who made money off of illegal stock holdings, off of laundering money through what was it, like military spending packages for other countries, military aid to other countries, humanitarian aid to other countries with our stimulus money. Rather than investigate them, they're going to hire 86,000 new fucking IRS agents to go after people that got a couple grand in PPP loans and who are getting too much money in Cash App and Venmo.
Yeah, so that that means people on YouTube. Yes, shout out to Alice. Biden has been a puppet president. Something else, brother Angry Snowman. What about from Deshaun? What about the $6 billion that Hillary lost? She was never under any scrutiny from the feds. What about the Benghazi scandal? What about the 33,000 emails?
What about the 30,000 emails, dude?
What about Hunter Biden?
Christ, at least Trump gave back all the paperwork that he was asked to give back.
Yeah, but
Clinton's all the emails Clinton got rid of. They're probably sitting on a server in fucking Ukraine right now.
And by the way, that was a private. That wasn't government. The IT guy that Clinton had, that was a private IT person. That wasn't linked to the government at all, but it was a conflict of interest, though.
I figured I'd hop up real quick, man, and shoot the shit with you for a minute. I'm gonna have to hop off and go start getting stuff set up for
all right, bro. Hey, I appreciate it. Everybody get down there and shout out to Angry Snowman's channel. He's got some good content. He's got a stream coming up.
Yeah, here at 9 o'clock, I got Brandon Caserta. He was one of the guys that was acquitted as far as the, alleged FBI attempt to, get people to kidnap a fucking governor, I guess, is the only way to put it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
he's going to come on. He's going to talk about, basically me and him are going to rap for, a little bit about, because me and him were both involved just on at different levels. He was actually imprisoned. I wasn't.
Well, thank God of that.
But we're going to sit and rap about a little bit of stuff. And then what we're going to do is he's agreed to, we're going to let people come up, a couple of people at a time.
Oh, you're going to start doing it that way too, like I do it.
Yeah, well, with him, yeah, I'm only going to let a couple people at a time come up, and they can ask him questions.
And by the way, you got a wrench, brother, Angry Snowman. See if you can spam your channel in. People want to know what your channel is.
The other thing I'm doing tonight too is I'm going to have my Cash App and my PayPal pinned to the top of the chat. I'm going to try and do a fundraiser for the guy, because he's been sitting in prison for 2 years. They completely basically stole his livelihood from him. So tonight all Cash Apps and all PayPals that come in are going to go at the end of the night directly to him to help get him back up on his feet, because he literally has nothing. He's living with his mom.
Wow. And shout out to Survival. Speaking of Cash Apps, that's why you got to note your donations as gift on your Cash Apps. And
so tonight I want to try and push and try and raise a good amount of money for this brother, that was a political prisoner, to try and help him get him up on his feet, man. And then hopefully we can get some other people. I mean, we know between all of us, we all know a lot of people with pretty big platforms, man. And I want to try and get him on some of these bigger platforms. That way his voice can be heard and people can actually start hearing the truth about what happened and what was going on, rather than the bullshit media lie.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But everybody get on over there. And Brother Angry Snowman, my Indiana brother, thank you for coming up here, brother.
Absolutely, my man. I wasn't going to leave you hanging. Nobody else wanted to come up. I was sitting here writing questions down. I told the wife, I was like, fuck it, man. I'm going to hop up there and talk to him for a little bit, since everybody else wants to be a bunch of pricks.
Yeah. Hey, I dropped the link. Anybody else who wants to come up there? I'm at an hour and 30 minutes. Let me go ahead and read some of the comments here as well. Alice says, I think that all agrees delusion does exist. That's right. Survival, 87,000 agents and $80 billion. And angels don't fall. It's been happening to him since 2014. This is why you all need, just like Angry Snowman says, we're getting near election time, and you're going to see more and more of the blue dog. I'm not even going to say blue dog Democrats, but of these Democrats, they're going to try to use everything and anything, because, in my humble opinion, I don't like the two-party system, but it could be a red wave.
Well, look, the truth of the matter is we're coming up to midterms, and we're already starting to see the same old every 2 years same song and tap dance that we see every 2 years.
Yeah.
The same bullshit with racism, white supremacy, toxic masculinity, give us your money. It's the same shit. Personally, I think this is what I think, dude. And I think that it would actually send a clear message to those that we choose to, that we're supposed to be able to choose to elect to represent us in Congress, not govern us, but represent us. I think that we should all willingly go to work and check that exempt mark on our federal taxes and withhold all of our tax money from these crooks until they start doing the job they were elected to do.
Yeah, because you can't put all of us in jail.
That's a fact.
that is a good idea, because you want to know, first of all, the purpose of why they implied an income tax anyway was to fund the was it the Spanish American War or World War One?
The income tax, the federal income tax that we have, it actually went into effect the first time, I believe, during, believe it or not, the Revolutionary War. From my understanding. And the income tax, there was only supposed that we're only supposed to have a federal income tax when we are in a state of war and our borders are being encroached by a neighboring country. All right, that's the only reason why we're supposed to have a federal income tax. It is to, and the sole purpose of it is to help fund the war effort. That and only that. And see, the funny thing about that is with that federal income tax, what a lot of people don't realize was there was the Militia Act of the first one was the Militia Act of 1760, I think it was. And with that Militia Act of 1760 or 1782, because it was after the
Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, it was written after the Militia Act was written after the Constitution was written. So it was 1780 something. But that act actually stated that anytime there is a federal income tax that is implemented on the citizens of the United States, that a percentage of that income tax is supposed to go back to the states to help fund militias.
You know, you want to know where the militia, I believe, started the National Guard, if I'm not mistaken.
No, the Army. The Army started the National Guard and said that it was now the acting militia.
Okay.
The National Guard is a branch of the United States Army. If you look up the definition of militia, militia is a citizen army. And you need a citizen army because the militia is the last line of defense for the nation when there is no defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with that being said, salute to you. Salute to you, troublemaker.
Shout out to you, brother. And welcome.
And I'll get off here. That way I can go start getting stuff ready. And hope to see you guys all over there, man.
All right. Salute, brother. And welcome, Alice, to the panel.
Yeah. How you doing?
All right. How about yourself?
He's a fellow troublemaker too.
We already know about the Trump situation. We already know, and he mentioned something about everybody signing exempt on their when they go to work on their. I think that's a W-4 form. That's what it is. When you go to work, fill out that how much taxes you want to take out. That's your W-4. And Mr. Snowman says, and this is true too, the problem with that is it would take everybody coming together, but there are too many brainwashed idiots out there. That goes off your comment you made, Alice, by the delusional people out there. So
yeah, your vote was 100%. So it's like we all get it.
Well, we all know that many people in this country, this is why we really don't have a country, because too many folks are really, in my humble opinion, they're living in denial. A number of them have entitlement issues, and they're very, very delusional, even the ones with the education. And I always tell individuals, education doesn't mean you're sitting in a college campus. It's how you apply it. And many people don't understand the three branches of government. Many people don't understand how the real world works. What say you?
Yeah, because like you can have all the education you want, but if you ain't got no common sense, the education is a waste of time.
Absolutely.
I think we're having a short on common sense. Like when you think about it, there is entitlement issues. A lot of people forget that every right that even God-given rights, like what's in the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, it comes with responsibility. And that responsibility is to respect your neighbor. Okay? That's what it's basically about. Know where the law is and your rights is, and don't infringe on others because you don't want others to infringe on you. I think people forget that simple part of all these rights we do have. If you're going to use your rights to abuse others, then you're not using it properly. You're abusing it. Like, you know how some women, they think, I got my rights, I'm independent. But then when it comes down to doing the work, all of a sudden they don't want to be Miss Independent no more. You've seen the trend here lately, like with the women at a certain age. They were all about getting an education, right? Then they realize the whole life is gone and their biological clock is ticking. And they're like, well, what did I do with my time? All you got was a whole bunch of nice paperwork. That's why it's good for you to have kids at a younger age. Like I say, with the way our society is moving, like 21, 25 is a good age for a young woman because she's like getting a little bit more mature. Now, there is women that get mature at a younger age, but from what I have seen, 21 to 25 is a good age for women.
Right. And you can still, after your kids are grown, you can still go to school if you want in your 40s and get what you need. I mean, I know you can't have it all, but you can still enjoy enough life to actually be comfortable. But a number of them don't know that, Alice, because again, they're media, social media is driving all this nonsense here. And this is why
it's not just social media, it's the actual school system, because I could tell you from my experience being a girl growing up, even in the late 90s to early 2000s, I started to see the shift and how they put the women on a pedestal and push the boys back. I started seeing it because I would see it in class. Like, they would always put the girls at the front of the class and the boys at the back, even when I was in school. I don't know how they did it when you was in school because you're a different generation. But even at my generation, I started to see this shift where they wanted the girls, they expected a lot out of us because we're normally catch on quicker, is what they said. So they would put the boys in the back. The majority of the kids that were boys, they would always have some kind of, like, I was talking to a gentleman on my live the other night before I went to Tennessee. He was telling me that they put the boys, even in my age group, the boys on medication just because of so-called, behavioral issues.
Right. They couldn't sit there. They wanted them to sit there like girls with their hands folded. So they put the boys on Ritalin.
Yeah, and that's what they did to him. But what he told me is that clozapine actually sterilizes men. You know the anxiety medicine?
Yes.
Yes, it causes sterilization in men. So he will never have children because of what they did to him when he was a kid.
And this is
I didn't even know that until he brought that to my attention.
And this is why you need to know what's going on in your school system. You need to know what they're giving your children. Now, when I was going to school, they put all the troublemakers up front and all the good people in the back. I happened to sit in the middle because I wasn't a troublemaker. I could have been, but in the end, when it came to college, well, college was a different story because you were paying out of your pocket. And something you might want to know, Deshaun he looked it up. Congress passed the 16th Amendment in 1909, which allowed Congress to impose the federal income tax. That was 1909. And Brother Survival says he filed exempt once. I was 18 and didn't think they'd notice. He had to pay a bunch back. So if everyone did it, it would work. They're actually doing it in China right now, where China is communist.
What type of exemption is it, though, that you're talking about?
You know, when you fill out that W-4 form, Okay,
Okay.
what a lot of people would do, like if they were claiming themselves, they would put a 1 and they would add everything up, and you get 1. They just say put an exempt to exempt you from paying taxes. That's all. You just write exempt in there, and that's what people are doing. When you put exempt, they won't withhold any taxes. I believe that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Now, Angry Snowman says the 16th Amendment was never properly ratified by 2/3 of the state. And Survival says there's college graduates out there that think chocolate milk comes from cows, and he's absolutely.
He said brown cows. Actually, you know where milkshake come from? While I was in Tennessee, I figured it out. Them cows that's on the side of the mountain, you know, all the walking. I think that's how we got chocolate milk. You know, the brown and black cows. I think them walking up the mountain gave us chocolate milk.
You must have went on the. You must have went to Gatlin, because my dad lives in Nashville, Tennessee. So you must have went on the mountainside of Tennessee, like Gatlinburg or Johnson City or Knoxville or in that area.
I went Gatlinburg. I went to Dolly Park, Dolly World. So I guess that's Severin. So I can't even pronounce it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a town called Cocky, like Cocké, Cocky County, and I was right by where they make the bush baked beans.
Oh, yeah, they do make a lot over there. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty over there. You were in a mountain area, and Survival also has something. He says, I went to school in the same era that you did, Alice. They didn't separate or medicate the boys at the schools he went to. But he also says he knows this happens. And okay, I was right. If you file exempt, you don't have to pay any income tax. So that means you look at your W-4 form and you just hit exempt. That means they're not going to take any taxes out of your check. And now that's income tax. Now, I don't know if that includes FICA or not, because you know FICA is like FICA and Social Security. That totals like 7.65% of your check right there. So I don't know. Well, that's Social Security. Yeah, that is. That is. So, but I say this because a lot of us, we don't understand civics here. Many of us were watching too much television. I don't even watch the news I used to watch Newsmax. I used to watch Fox. I don't even watch that anymore because I don't trust any of those shows. The mainstream.
Yeah, don't share anything from Newsmax on your YouTube because you'll get a copyright strike. Because I just got a strike for sharing something.
Even if you called fair use, you got a strike.
Yeah, I put it right in the description. Like, you know how you upload a video and you put description. They gave me a strike for it, so I got to be careful because I'm on my second strike.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because they'll get you for it was like copyright. They said that it like I appealed it, right, and they said, well, anything that is copyright, even if you put the label on there, they can strike you.
Oh.
From certain news. So if you use anything from Newsmax, they'll strike you. So I'm just letting you know because I didn't know until I got the copyright strike.
See, I don't. Well, I did use something from a show. They gave me a copyright strike, but I appealed it, and they took it off. They took it off.
Well, I think it's like you have to play it a certain amount of time, then speak, is what I'm thinking. Like it has to do with a time.
Yeah, and when I was on the stream, I just played the video, and when I played the video, I didn't speak. Survival says they will garnish your wages if you don't pay taxes. I learned the hard way. So make sure to be educated on filing exempt before you do it. And also to join us up here, Men's Daily. What's going on, bro?
Hey, buddy, how you doing tonight?
Daily. Passport.
Hey,
bro.
Alice, how you doing, Alice?
enjoy it. I mean, it was good to get away for a while. I think I might move up to Tennessee. It's so pretty there.
Yeah, my dad.
Really?
It
My
is
dad lives up
beautiful,
there.
man.
He lives in Nashville though, so that's.
I didn't get to see Nashville. I wanted to go up there to go, see the music people. Because, I like country music.
Country music capital. So yeah, what's going on, brother G? I'll check my email too, bro. What's going on? Because
No problem.
I've been
Yeah,
hearing
check that.
a lot
I'm
about
sorry, go ahead.
transport bros, man. What's going on with
Let me tell you, man. First, I want to say thank you for bringing me to the show. I apologize for the late entry, man. I'm been out there. I'm still dipping and dabbing in the blue collar fields and everything. So I had to, work on some cars and stuff, man. It's a whole nother story. So, I'll talk to you off the screen about that. But
hey brother, my hands are already I work out there too, man. My hands are already dried from working, okay? I work
okay, gotcha. Yeah. So but anyways, though, first of all, I just want to say, while I was under that engine, man, you had me dying laughing. When you set up here and said there's some of the men's college teams that play way better than the WNBA.
Yeah.
Dude, listen, the hood of the car was about to drop on me hard, like, don't.
Well,
I was like, wow.
Well,
so I said, let me get on the stream and make sure he was correct. I didn't know if I was wrong or not. But was it true you said that? Yeah, was it the men's college teams or is it the women's college basketball teams that play way better than the WNBA?
It was the men's, and also the men's a high school team beat the USA women's soccer team, a high school team. So with all well, this is why I put together this delusion, and why I got you and Alice. There's this African American lady on named Kendra G. You might know her from Chicago. Look at her videos. She has a lot of delusional women on that show, and she's for men. And and something that's also troubling to me, you all, too many men are switch hitters. She had a dude on last night that was looking for men and women. I don't understand that. What's wrong with these men? So they want to go out.
That's a trisexual. That's a trisexual. He's willing to try anything. We have women like that. They be tripoding. That's what I used to call them, tripods. Well, they set up their little legs and just.
Yeah, go to when you go to that email that I sent you, it's exactly about what the topic we're talking about, right? It's talking about Kendra G. And let me tell you, it was a very embarrassing situation for her. I didn't know if you had the honor to go to the email, play it, and then you could share the screen. But let me tell you, man, she was asked some very simple questions, and literally, she really embarrassed herself, man. It went from the guy asking her serious questions about today's dating life and what's going on, right? And and also what's going on her channel, to her saying, well, the reason he asking me that is because it's the size of his thing and this stuff is little. And since he got a little thing or whatever, like, just go watch the video. I don't want to ruin it for you. Shout out to my man, Average Man Unplugged's channel, man. He has a great review channel. He's a young man that is actually growing, man. He's on this road to 10,000 subs. Shout out to him. But go to the link. I shared his link to his channel in the email, and you'll see the details about that video. She made herself look really, really, really hardcore.
I also last night freestyled a 46-minute video on her calling us. We make YouTube videos, me, you, and Alice. She called us little fish. She said, I'm the big fish. And she had this, I don't know if she was Spanish or black. She called herself Chocho girl or something. And Chocho in Spanish means vagina. And she had made a rap. Tony Jean had sent it. It was 15 minutes. And it's at the 15-minute and 34-second mark. And I'm like, what the hell am I listening to? She was singing. I mean, this was some explicit lyrics coming from a woman on Kendra G's show. And you go back and watch that video I did last night. Last
Okay.
time we talked about the fair use, and this is what got me to do the delusional videos again, because Kendra G doesn't say anything that those, well, you know as well as I do. I don't know if Alice will watch it, but maybe Alice ought to watch some Kendra G too. But Kendra G,
I've been seeing I think what you call it, Nate was talking about her. A couple of YouTubers have been talking about her. Doesn't she use Kevin Samuel's talking points?
she does, and I
Well,
Do you
this is the.
realize do
Mhm.
y'all
Go ahead.
realize how strange it is to hear a woman using men talking points?
well,
Like, it's really awkward, and I think it's trending right now, and
there's
it
one.
doesn't make any sense to me because, like, why are you trying to cop out on the dudes, man?
Well, Jessica X did it. There was a lady that Jean told me about named Ashley W. She did it. She's no longer on YouTube because she got exposed by Minister Jab. They're using our talking points, and then they're going and putting a womanist point of view in those talking points. And the dumb guys are over there. They never even seen what Jessica X looks like, and they had a lot of belief in Jessica X because they have this delusion that if they hear from a woman, it sounds better when they're talking about men. And this is what's happening with Kendra G. You know it. Now,
So they think that a woman using men talking points is more appeasing. I mean, it's more appeasing to hear it from a man because it's a man's talking point, and it's more logical. It
Well,
just seems like a lot of women are using the men's talking points to build their channels and get subs. And
well,
it just doesn't sound right coming out the woman's mouth.
well, Alice, let me
That's just
ask
my
you.
opinion, though.
Alice, let me ask you a question. Okay, did you grow up with your father in the household?
Yeah, his birthday is the day after tomorrow. He gonna be 71.
Okay, all right. Hear me out. The majority of men, especially from my generation, I'm from the millennial generation. Okay, a lot of these guys have grown up with single mother households. Okay, and we all know that a woman can never ever teach a boy how to become a man. You just can't do it. Okay. And a lot of these guys have a lot of feminine traits, right? But you have the male inside of them actually trying to fight the feminine traits. Okay. But if this is all they know is to be feminine and to actually be ladylike, right, then they're going to carry those gender roles on for years to come. You understand? Now, am I saying all men? No, but the vast majority. I'll tell you what, if you look at like the prison rate, the jail rate, the majority of those guys inside of there, man, doesn't matter the race, right? You can look this up statistically. I think this is on the United States Census Bureau. But a lot of these guys who ended up in jail was from a product of what? A single mother household. You understand?
absolutely.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that to answer your question or your situation that you brought up is that a lot of these guys, right, really perceive that if something is more delicately sound from a woman, right, then what they're going to do is they're going to push that narrative based on what they've been raised and known their whole life is to be ladylike. It's just how it is. Now, I'm not going to say all the guys because there are some guys out there who actually, the mothers actually brought these guys around masculine men. They brought them around their uncles. They kept them around their grandfathers or what have you. And the father wasn't in the picture for what have you, the reason may be. And these guys grew up to be great guys, you know, or guys like myself, you know, I just had to figure it out. I grew up in the goddamn streets. You know, there was a portion of the time that my single mother did raise me. But the rest of the time, right, you know, I had to figure it out from the streets, you know, but there's a story about that, you know, on my channel and everything, you know. So, but the key thing is, I just want to tell you guys out there is you're going to see more and more feminine guys out there who portray themselves to be masculine, but in their brain, they're feminine as a motherfucker, man. They're very feminine.
Yeah. Now,
Well, the
go
thing
ahead, Alex.
about the thing about the young boys going to prison and stuff, if you notice, a lot of them end up getting into gangs because they want that masculine connection. A lot of the ones I grew up with and went to school with, they were products of a single mother home. And a lot of them went to the gangs to have that male connection. And through that male connection, they didn't realize that them older cats was setting them up to do things, okay, because they were naive. I see that what I'm seeing now is a lot of men don't know how to, get in tune with their masculinity. And a lot of young boys, if they could just get in tune with their masculinity, they would keep themselves straight, because masculinity is the balance in men, just like femininity keeps a woman balanced. And I think that's a big problem. And another thing, if you think about single moms, who's really raising the kids once they get to a certain age is the public school system. That's why parents need to speak up about what's going on in the schools, single parent or both parent, because even the single parent kids are going to affect the kids that are from two parent homes. Them kids are interacting at school. So they're going to pick up each other's traits, whether they realize it or not. So it's like we need to look at that, because I was telling my friend, I said, when I realized how much time the public school got my kids, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, they sleep 8 hours. There's only 24 hours in a day. So who's really with my kids? The public school system. And if they're teaching this nonsense, they're not even teaching them civics. They're not teaching them the Constitution. I'm wasting my time and my child's mind on that nonsense they're trying to push. I'm just glad we live in a country where we can choose what kind of education our children have. Because other countries, you can't do homeschool. You're forced to do public school. So that is a benefit I have found. Even some of the charter schools, you have to be careful, because my niece was going to one of them free schools, right? It's a charter school. She had got selected. She came home. Now, this is supposed to be one of these new technology schools. She came home, told my aunt that she needed to apologize for her white privilege. This was last summer now.
Wow.
So,
yeah,
even the charter schools have been invaded. Okay, so y'all make sure, if you got kids or you know anybody that has kids, make sure that the parents are talking to the kids. If they do have to use public schools or charter schools, make sure that they're having that conversation. Don't let the kid just say, I didn't learn nothing today. If they're not telling you, something's going on, or somebody done whispered in their ear, don't tell your parents. Because that's another thing I was looking at. Do you realize, like, the teachers on TikTok, right? Those woke ones, they go on and tell everybody what they're doing at school. Like, they admit they're talking about sex and everything to these children. You know there's federal laws? And why aren't these teachers arrested?
Well, the reason
that's a question.
now I'm gonna give you my interpretation that a lot of these teachers, Alice, they're in a union called the NEA, the National Education Alliance, or the National Education Association. And these unions, they're another, in my humble opinion, legalized extortion. I was in a union when I was with AFSCME. They want more members to keep that money coming into the people. They don't care about the members. They care about themselves. The union's a big business. So the public school teachers are under the NEA. I know my sister Carla was in the NEA, and they take out so much for union dues. So every time you fire a teacher from the public school system, that's union dues that are coming out of their pocket. Unions are corporations too.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I was just it's funny that you said. I was just on the other day talking to somebody saying that unions are jokes nowadays. Okay, the best unions, in my opinion, right, were like back in like the 1940s and 30s, man. You know, hell, even 50s, like around the time of Richard Pryor and all that shit. Those were the real unions out here. The unions today are a goddamn joke. You know, they're sharing information with management. I've seen. I used to be in a couple unions in my past. I was in the stationary engineers union. You know, where we deal with a lot of high pressure, low pressure boiler systems, chiller systems, and heating and AC systems, man. And let me tell you, it's a joke. It's a joke, man. I've seen women on the job site get discriminated, right, because of sex. I've seen guys get set up to get fired. I've even seen, I was just talking to someone the other day who worked at the post office. No, it wasn't the post office. It was another job, what have you. Yeah, it was the post office. So what happened was she had got her shift changed because there was a white lady that actually came on the job as a supervisor and said, I'm just going to go ahead and change your shift. So she changed the shift from 3 to 11. They were working 7 to 3:30 because they needed to get on the bus. So she addressed the issue to another person, and another person went to the office and said, well, hey, I'm going to go ahead and take that shift. And they said, well, no, I'm going to switch both of your shifts. And the way she found it out was because of the simple fact that the white workers on that job, she allowed them to keep their 7 to 3:30 shift. And these were the only two black people that they switched their shift. I said, in that position, guess what you were supposed to do? You're supposed to go to a union steward. And the union steward, right, would actually go straight to the management and address that issue and squash that shit right then and there. If they don't squash this shit right then and there, goddamn it, they going on strike. That's just how the union protects their own. But nowadays, what they do is they hire you. They don't tell you who your union steward is. And the third thing is that the companies are enmeshed with the unions to the point that they got the union scared to break that relationship, so they won't keep those union dues coming in. So that's why now, though, right? That's why it's so easy for people to get fired nowadays, or people to quit nowadays, because there's no good union backing like back in the day.
Now what I want to do, I want to see if I can play that video that you sent me. I want to let me see if I can share it. This is the one I didn't see. Hold on one moment.
Okay, cool. That's by my boy Average Man Unplugged. Shout out to him. I'm always in his comment section, and his channel has been slowly blowing the hell up about travel, you guys. And yes, we're gonna get back on that topic before we leave tonight. Hopefully, 411 about travel and the Passport Brothers, because hey, like I said, it's starting to become an evolution, man. It's scaring the hell out of a lot of dating coaches and pickup artists, man.
Well, fair use. All right. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use, and it is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 7. So, without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and fire up this Kendra G video. All right, fair use.
You ain't had that energy for any of them from that rant you just said. So, where's that same energy for the females to react that react to your? Because I can name off quite a few.
Now, who's this brother?
Creators.
This brother, wait a minute.
Space
this is Black.
To your
this is
videos,
Black Light.
And they got the same
Logic,
views
isn't it?
And sentiments as us. Where that energy at for them?
Fair
Don't worry,
use, Black Light Logic.
Not the crickets.
Well, let me see if I can move it a little bit forward here.
Yeah, blow it up.
Can I go forward with it? Is it sharing? Can you all see it?
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Ron back with another video.
All
Before
right,
we get
fair
started,
use.
make sure you please
Fair use.
like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. On the road to 10,000 subs, baby. Let's
Congratulations,
get it.
brother. Don't flag
All
me.
right, so new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Now, let's go ahead and
Hey,
jump
by the way, I
into
subscribed to
it.
this guy's channel
So,
already.
Kendra G decided to come for everybody that's been reacting to her channel. And guest in particular, Thon Lexi. Y'all don't know who that is. The name of his channel is called Black Light Podcast.
Okay, that's it. That's it.
Shout out to you, bro. I actually think he's like, if you guys don't know, I'm from Cincinnati. I think he's like from right down. He's like a hop, skip, and a jump away from me. I think he's from like it's a small
Oh,
town in Indiana, man.
let me put up my other banner. Let me put my fair use banner
bro,
up.
you watching, man? Yeah, man. I'm like a hop, skip, and a jump away from you. So Kendrick, I guess because he in particular reacts to her channel the most, she felt some type of way, right? And part of the reason why I got hip to Kendra G is actually through him. And I've been subscribed to his channel for a long time, man. Hey, and if y'all ain't hip to him, please check out his content, man. Like he does great breakdowns, man. His content is dope. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it.
Fair use.
We're going to break down what you just watched. Kendra G brought me up, brought the content up. A lot of people sent me the clip. I'm the only person reacting to her content at the rate that it's being reacted to, and nobody's getting the numbers that I'm getting reacting to her content. We're going to address it head on and cover everything she had to say. Let's play the clip. Let's get into it.
Fair use.
He wasn't watching your show, but he was watching the guy that commentates after the show. So I gotta be nice.
No, you gotta be nice, and I'm getting rid of all these commentators after the show. Listen, you small penis men that take my comments, my content, and try to make a role for yourself. Get your own shit.
First off, I already made a path way before you, Kendra. Don't nobody need to react to your content to make a way.
Nope.
But wherever there are Black women giving their dating standards and being out absurd, Thon Lexi will be present. Let's get back into it.
Popping. So I've been really, really busy, but people are starting to send me the videos of people. I don't need no commentator after my show.
Nobody cares what you said you need.
Nope.
Like we're doing.
I don't care.
There's going to be a counter to women's absurd standards in the dating market. We thought women were going to fly by unchecked. Mr. Samuels is passed.
What the French toast?
Let's get back into it.
Okay, you're not
Pause it right quick.
So I'm not
Pause
going
it right quick.
Let me pause it. Let me pause it. How do I pause it here?
So just
Hold on.
emphasis, y'all only take women. How come y'all not commenting on the men
All right.
that come on my show?
Let me try to pause it.
Shit?
That's a great question, actually, Kendra. The reason we don't comment,
Now let me pause
we
it.
don't do a lot of content regarding men is
All
the
right,
same
let me
reason
stop
why
share.
Samuels did blow up and we started talking about
Okay.
nobody
Okay.
issues of men.
When a woman brings up a man's,
Nobody cares about
boat size, we're gonna call it the boat. Okay, we're gonna call it the boat. When she does that, it's because she's feeling hit and she's trying to demasculate that man to make him small, belittle him. Does she not understand that anybody can react to her videos? Does she not understand that being a creator, she has that everybody else has a chance to criticize what she's doing? Or did she not read the fine print?
She did not read the fine print because, like I said, I gave you all that. I just put it up there, the banner up there, the fair use banner, and we are allowed to utilize her content. Now, she didn't want us to utilize the content because she's afraid that we're making money off of her content. Well, you know what? Before she even came to YouTube, she was on Instagram. Now, for that comment that she just made, there are going to be more and more people utilizing her content. Now, I utilize the content for the dysfunctional women that she has on her platform. And some of these women are very dysfunctional and they're delusional.
What is she calling herself? A dating guru or something? Like, what is her channel about exactly?
What her channel is about is hooking up men and women with people, and they're meeting them off of Facebook and Instagram.
So
And
she's playing matchmaker.
trying to play matchmaker.
Oh, what's she gonna do when somebody hooks up and then she gets blamed for whatever mess is made? See, that's why it's dangerous to like try to hook people up with another person, because you have to have that disclaimer. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this does not work, it is not my fault, kind of thing. It's like when I give advice to people, I always tell them it comes with a warning label. This is how I see
Said a warning label.
Yeah, I gotta give a warning label because, like, come on
Like on the
now.
back of us, like the back of those cigarettes.
Yeah, like I learned a long time ago because, like, when I was a kid, right, people would come to me, ask me for advice, and I had one girl. She asked me for advice, and then her whole relationship was crap because she didn't give me the full story. All right, so she wanted to blame me every time I turned around. It's your fault, Alice. No, and ever since then, I have a warning label, and y'all might want to remember that if somebody asks you for some advice, you say, "Look, man, there's a warning label. This is how I see it would happen if I was that person, but I don't know what it's going to be like for you." You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
I think that this could be a bad thing when she doesn't even realize the chain reaction. That's why I don't play matchmaker,
Right.
because it's like this. What if she done hooked up some man with some serial killer woman, and people don't think they exist, but there's some crazy women out there. And then that man comes back to her and be like, "Why didn't you vet her?"
See, I didn't know who that guy was there, brother.
And something doesn't happen.
I don't know who that guy is, but I did Black Light podcast. I did subscribe to his channel. I don't know who that guy was on your now. Deshaun, shout out to him. She's basically trying to take over KS's slot in the game. Now, shall we continue? Just bear with me. I'm a little.
Well, yeah. The thing is this though, right? You know, and I'll let you continue the video. That's my boy, Average Man Unplugged. Shout out to him, man. This channel is growing. Like I said, man, the passport movie. Go to his channel. He's saying more about passport, traveling, female nature. I love it, man. I love it when the younger generation come in, because my channel, right, specialize in targeting the younger crowd. I like it when they come in from their teens and 20s and just hit them hard, right? And these guys are like in their 20s, man, coming in with this heat, man, of female nature, how they're making a lot of the women who are actually genuine in the United States look bad, man. They're making these women look horrible. And right now, according to that little sneak preview that you just showed us right there, it just shows you guys though what type of behavior that a lot of these women have, especially if they're in professional positions like that Miss G lady. You know, I mean, it's crazy out here. You know, but you guys, I tell these guys all the time or whatever. I just made a video called how to properly vet women, right, and look out for red flags all over the globe, right, right. And I talked about this particular behavior, and I talked about it all the time. The delusion, the women with psychological problems, women who are damaged goods, women who've been with multiple kids, dads, multiple guys, daddy issues. I talk about all that stuff though. I just made a video a few days ago. Go check it out on my channel. But anyway, 411, yeah, man, that guy, man, has some heat. Subscribe to his channel, The Average Man Unplugged. Subscribe to his channel.
Right. Now, Ricky Man,
shout out Ricky Manor.
Yes, got my passport, but I ain't going back to Russia. Now,
that's what I'm talking about. Get that pass. I'll tell these guys, get that passport, man. You guys
He said, "I'm not going back to Russia." All right, fair.
No, but the only reason I wanted you to stop it is because men need to realize, like, when a woman's talking like that, she's letting you know she really does not care about the men. And men need to realize, the ones that's going to her channel, if you question her or comment on what she's doing, this is what she's going to do to you. So you have to pay attention to the behaviors. You're right, Mr. GD, about the red flags. If she got upset about somebody doing what you're allowed to do on YouTube, imagine if it was somebody just commenting and it triggered her. She would go on a tirade. So these are the things that men can look out for. And this is a dysfunctional woman.
Yes.
That's
and
why.
see the thing is, Alice, let me tell you, lately in the passport movement, I'm gonna just be real. There's been a lot of women, right, that are pissed off at women like you who really call these women out on their bullshit. They are really pissed off when you call the women out on their bullshit. Learn guys like us about these women and hold them accountable. Yes, they are really pissed off. There's been a large influx about the last month. It's been getting really ugly. And for her to expose her behavior on this man's channel and throw a reaction like that, it's like the evidence are like stockpiled high, man. It's like stockpiled high. You know?
Well, Mr. Gigi, if they're pissed off, they should be glad they're not pissed on. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna go out in the public, you should already know that you're going to be scrutinized and you're going to be criticized. These are the things. Like, even when I'm criticized, I have to humble myself and actually take a step back and say, okay, well, why are they criticizing me? Is it constructive or destructive? There's two different things. But these women these days, they're emboldened, they're entitled, they're egotistic, and they cannot humble them.
And that's exactly what my video is about tonight. That's why I showed it tonight. Now I'm gonna continue.
There it is.
But I gotta drop down. I gotta drop down because my phone's about to go dead. But thanks for letting me up. 411.
Oh man, you gotta leave us now, Alice. Oh man.
Well, I'll be in the comments. It's just, man, I don't want it to just die on y'all.
It's cool.
I mean, I took a long trip back, so it's like 5 hours. I didn't go bar hopping. I went state hopping. Well, it was pretty awesome, you know.
Hey, I appreciate you for participating here on the chat, and be back next Wednesday. I have some.
But I'll be in the chat. I just need to charge my phone. But y'all on point about this. It's good. Yeah. I think it's good that men actually talk about this type of behavior, because the more y'all talk about it, the more women can actually learn from it. It's just they're going to have to humble themselves, okay? And that is the hardest thing for a woman to do, is humble herself. But the sooner she learns to do it, the better woman she'll be.
Yeah, absolutely. Fact.
And so hopefully in time, this will happen. I don't know. But I think the scrutiny needs to happen, and the scrutinizing. It's constructive criticism, is what I see. Well, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, good to see you again, Alice.
All right, salute, thanks. But I'm gonna go ahead again. Make sure I'm doing it right here.
All right. As you would say, fair use.
I got one fair use banner up there. All right, let me run the fair use banner up there. All right. Warning: federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. And it is allowed, again, and it is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 7. And let's get my likes up. Let's get my likes up. Let's get my likes up. And before I move on, let me go back to my poll question here. Because under my poll question, a minute, I almost took myself out of my own stream here. All right. Under my poll question, so far I have 32 votes. Are there a delusional number of people in the United States? 97% say yes. 3% knows. Again, fair use. Fair use. And here I'm going to come with it. Let me stop sharing this. And let me share. That's the wrong video. I'm on you. I'm doing it with one screen there, brother G. So just bear with me and
It's fine. It's fine. I don't know if you know how to do it on YouTube. On the bottom, when you play it, you can enlarge the film so that everybody can see it. But it'll fade away when you put the mouse down there. Just put the mouse down there. See it on the far right hand corner. There it is. Yeah, and just enlarge on the far right hand side. Beautiful.
all right.
Beautiful. There it is.
Let me see. I got to be able to play it. Can it play?
Yeah,
it?
you did. Yeah, you could play it. Yeah, you probably got to rewind it a little bit. But yeah, there you go. And then right there. Yep, about right there. Perfect. Perfect.
All right. Fair use. Fair use. Can you hear it?
Yeah, it's a little low.
All right. Let me do something about it.
The reason we don't comment,
All right.
and we don't do a lot of content regarding men is the same reason why Kevin Samuels didn't blow up until he started talking about women. Nobody cares about the issues of men.
Let me get back. Let me get back into YouTube here.
Necessary in the first place. Nobody cares about our conditions. Nobody cares about our requirements.
Nope. Okay, you can blow it up again. Zooming in again.
It's nothing but reacting to men and their conditions.
All right, you got it?
Do good, you can't even grow.
Perfect.
That's why. Let's get back into it.
Fair use.
And we have covered men. Every time a man comes onto your show and offers a woman 50-50, Don Lexi is one of the me and Anton Daniels are one of the only manosphere channels checking men the same way Kevin Samuels checked men for asking for 50-50. So stop playing. You're being disingenuous because you're upset at me, but we should have a conversation respectively. This isn't going to get anything done.
I can see y'all were breaking your brothers down and saying, as a man, you should step up. So let them know right now, any man that takes my comment, my show, my content, to make comments on, they all have small penises, and that's why. So if they have big penises, they'd be out with their women. But instead, they gotta keep their ass in the house to watch what I'm doing on my show, because they was born with a small penis and they can't get no vagina. So just know.
Now let me pause this for a minute. Now she's talking about a man can't get no pussy. Let me tell you something. This is the problem. This is the problem with people like Kendra G. This is the problem with people like Kendra G. This is the delusion, brother, that we're watching. She thinks, shout out to Prophet of Thought, peace, brother. She thinks that she can shame us because we're actually telling the truth. That's her game right there. And we're going to keep on exposing this woman and any of these women who get on her show and start talking that delusional nonsense. Because what I'm seeing and what you're seeing, this is a person who has all the education. She's about 42 years old, no children. She's given relationship advice, but she's not in a relationship herself. She's a journalist. Now, I'm not criticizing her for what she wants to do, but we're on YouTube to make money. She's taking somebody else's talking points because she wants to be that person, but she can't be that person. She's not authentic enough. Let me continue. Fair use.
Before I get into what you just said, I must ask a question. Why, when Black women have an issue with Black men, their sexuality or their ability to please a woman comes into question? Why can't we just address the conversation at hand? Now, you also said that you believe that we don't have women. Well, I know that my woman who I'm getting ready to be engaged to actually is present for every single show, preparing my tea. She's actually a big part of the show. She's actually a big part of my business. So you're wrong about that. Also, also, that small penis you're talking about, it created one child and another one that's pending and on the way. You win. My children aren't sitting up frozen in the refrigerator waiting to be thawed out when I'm done doing me.
Came with the slammer that time. Brother came with the slammer that time. Well, again, this is what we got to deal with, Brother G out here. This is what we got to deal with. We got to deal
And
with.
I tell you, and it's real, man. I mean, and Kevin Samuels said the same thing. When it comes to the fact that if a man is bringing facts, statistics, evidence, and proof to the modern day woman, or what I call the average North American woman, usually the first thing they do, right, is deflect and redirect. Okay. If you're bringing back these facts and statistics, the first thing she's going to talk about is your manhood. Yep. Or how you look, or your size, or anything, that has nothing to do with the top. She could talk about your job. You could be a guy that's just making 30, 40 grand a year, and you could be hitting her hard, man, with fast statistics, proof, and all that stuff, right? Of something of important. It could be something of substance. And the first thing she's going to say, well, you a fat dude, or you can't perform in bed. I mean, this is how they operate out here.
Shaming tactics. That's right.
Yes.
Let's continue down the road here.
Deflect and redirect.
Deflect and redirect and shaming tactics. Fair use.
And gaslighting. Don't forget gaslighting.
Oh man. Oh Lord. All right. I just wanted to let that. My channel, I still speak on men problems and things.
Yeah, go ahead and blow it up.
When I started this channel, I was mixing in workout videos, along with other, it was rough. You know what I mean? You connected to one of her videos recently that had a guy. I mean, I don't know. That's one of those things I'm kind of on the fence about, man, because we live in this society where for the most part you need two incomes. In order to, live a life the way you want to live it, as far as family goes. So if I got to do 60-40 in order to get submission, if I got to do 70-30 to do submission, God damn it, I'm going to do it. So, I mean, if that's the argument, so be it. You know what I mean? Most guys are not going to be in a position to do 100. Like, let's just keep it a buck. And I think that's one of the reasons why my channel is moving the way it is, because what I'm trying to show guys is that, if you're not a 6-figure guy, but let's say you're somewhere mid to high 5 figures, you know what I mean? And you could potentially be working remote, there's other ways around that. You could still live a pretty nice lifestyle for really cheap if you go to these other countries. I know I don't went on a complete side tangent, but back to this woman, man.
Fair use.
This woman got some nerve, because I also want to touch on the fact that I've seen women react to your shit as well. You ain't had that energy for any of them from that rant you just said. So where's that same energy for the?
Let me pause it. And that's what I've said. That's where that delusion. She doesn't have that smoke for the rest of the women. She allows the women to use her content, but she has it for the men. Again, she's not helping men or women. And I watched this for the delusional women. It's not necessarily her. I'm just showing you what's taking place out here in these YouTube streets, on social media, with how social media has allowed undesirables to think that they are top of the line individuals to date. Fair use. Fair use. Let's continue.
The females to react that react to you, because I can name off quite a few female content creators in this same space that react to your videos, and they got the same views and sentiments as us. Where that energy at for them? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Crickets.
See, and that's my thing. The sad part about it is Kendra want to sit over here and get all in her feelings. The guys in this space, we actually been having your back, because we actually thought we were seeing some maturity, a transition. But this this rant right here,
Nope.
this was like taking 4 steps back after taking 2 steps forward.
Absolutely.
Because after that rant, you sound just like all the women you was holding accountable.
And you're. And let me pause it. And the women that she has on, she's also making money off of, by the way.
Yes.
She doesn't want us making money. Don't forget that. So this is hypocrisy at its finest. Fair use.
Yes.
This, oh my God, you can't make this shit up. Because let me tell you something. I've been watching Thon Lexi faithfully react to her, bro, and I rarely have seen him say anything negative about her. I've never seen him like bash her or anything at all, man. Like, he breaks down, he critiques. He's more concerned about the person that she's speaking to more so than her. So why is she in her feelings so much?
Do you believe how dumb you look right now?
I'm like, and to think, man, men in this space was giving you your flowers, and then you want to turn around and react like that. Bruh. That says a lot. That says a lot, man. And then y'all wonder why we can't be nice to y'all ass. Out of here, bro. I'm done, man. Let me know what y'all thought about this, man. Like, y'all think Kendra G overreacting, man, or she just being a hater, or she just being salty, man? And please subscribe to Thon Lexi, man. He give great breakdowns. And shout out to you, bro. I salute to you, man. You're doing great work. Like, I've been a subscriber to you probably before you even hit 10,000. I've been subscribed to you for a while, bro. So, you know what I mean? I've definitely been paying attention to you, bro, because I think he like almost at 30,000 now. So,
wow.
Yeah, man, definitely love seeing the growth, man. All right, you guys, if you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all hitting the bell notification so that way y'all know what I'm uploading, and hit the like button so that way I can reach a broader audience and it helps with the algorithm. Until the next video, y'all. Deuces.
Well, again, the guy's speaking some he's speaking some fire there. He's speaking some game there.
Man, it's real out. It is real out here. And see, the thing was, I didn't know about Kendra G until Kevin Samuels did a film interview with her, man, and I'm not gonna lie, he ripped her apart. He did, because she was criticizing him, saying that he was trying to steal her light, of the show. He was stealing her techniques. But when you got over 1.4 million subs, man, at Kevin Samuels level at the time, or whatever it may be, I mean, what's there to goddamn steal? Number one. Number two, what she's not realizing, right, is that men, right, men are more concerned about women's issues, okay, right?
Right.
The reason her subs and she's not getting the fame that she wants, man, is because of the simple fact, right, that she's not addressing the issues that we are wanting to be put on the table. Those issues are not being addressed. You understand? That they're just not. I mean, for real, And that's why, you're going to see a mixture of both audiences gravitate to a person that's bringing up issues from both the men's side and the women's side. You understand? We're not saying that all guys are perfect and we can walk on water and not get wet. Fuck no. No, but we're going to bring the issues to the table as it applies to say, society, and also personal people's experience of what they're currently going through and what they have been through, and that's the shit she's not really understanding, and, the guy made a great point, I mean, why are you talking about his size, man? Why are you talking about his sexual performance? Stick to the fucking truth. Stick to the topic. I mean, that's the thing, and listen, me personally, and like I said, in the MGTOW and the Red Pill community and the travel community, right? I don't understand why these guys get on these panels, man, and argue with these goddamn women for like hours, man, and hours, saying that there are some women out there who are good or whatever. The only thing they're doing is talking. They're not doing anything. They're not bringing a cool 100,000 women to a quality man. I'm not going to say high quality, but a quality man, and saying these are the women out here who are very cooperative, very feminine, very submissive, doesn't have psychological problems, very traditional, right? of the bare minimum of everything he's looking for. Here they are. They're not doing that today. They're just saying, well, they're all women are not like that. That's all they're doing, you know. But they're not bringing nothing to the table.
What you just saw, Brother G, was exactly what I put in the title of my video: the delusion,
yes,
the entitlement, and the denial. There's one more I should have put in there. I should have put deflection. Usually, when they go to your sexual organs, that's a deflection because they can't refute your argument there. They can't do it. So
no,
you know, they use the shaming tactic.
yeah,
And you have to be, as a man, strong enough to understand that shaming tactic. Listen, YouTube, a number of these individuals are going to make their money off of reaction videos. It's very difficult to do reaction videos. I know Ringo, and shout out to Ringo. He had a clip. He had a clip up there of Kendra and this Chocho girl. And this Chocho girl was talking about her vagina, how she takes a bath and washes her Chocho. And I mean, she's allowing these women, and if she really cared about these women, she would say, "Oh, you shouldn't say that. You need to go get some therapy." At least PS would ask about therapy. She's not asking about any therapy. You know why? She doesn't care about them. So she's actually using these women for her own selfish reasons. And when she talked about the big fish, she was basically talking about us being the small fish. She was talking about the brothers that we saw who were doing her content, making reaction. That's who she was talking about. And the rest of us who are utilizing her videos. And she said, we need her videos to make money. No, we don't. Heck, before I was doing live streams, I was doing pre-recorded videos.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's just the fact, though, man, that let's just keep it as the new schools would say, let's keep it a buck, okay? All right. All right. When it all boils down to it and is all said and done, man, she's pissed off that she's not getting the popularity, right, as Kevin Samuels and a lot of other guys out there are, man. She just not, man. It's just keep it a buck. I mean, it's just how the shit is, you know. And the thing is, now the man is gone or whatever, right? A lot of those subs gravitated to other areas in the manosphere and all over YouTube, man, you know, to find more answers, man. And then after that, man, the passport movement got more aggressive out here, man, because guys are now exposing on YouTube and on Facebook, right, and on Twitter, female nature at its finest. And what she just exposed was, to me, just 100% not just delusion, but she really has some deep-rooted psychological issues that are unresolved. I mean, why are you talking about a man's sexual performance, right, and not stepping to the topic? That's my whole point. What is his sexual performance got to do with the topic? You've never slept with the man. You never known what this man's downstairs looked like. So why are you speculating about something you honestly do not know anything about?
Well, what happens when they can't refute the point? Another name for deflection is a straw man argument. In other words, she brings up a topic that doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about because she can't refute what we're talking about. That's the problem. See, when you bring the facts out, they're based off of proof instead of emotionalism from a personal opinion. Because usually when people have personal opinions, they're actually to try to win an argument. They actually make up. It's almost like a compulsive liar. They have to keep lying. And they forget where they made that previous lie. Well, somebody who's totally compulsive, they're constantly trying to make up something to be right. And that's also a touch of schizophrenia right there because you're actually believing. It is a portion of schizophrenia right there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be people, look, I've been on YouTube, listening to YouTube ever since 2010 when Tommy and Sergeant Willie Pete. I mean, when they had their beginning times in Ringo TV Raw, and
I think you said Red Supreme or something like that. You were telling me about.
well, Red Supreme didn't come until right around 2016. But I mean, we talked about guys like David Carroll, Charles Tyler. I mean, we're going way back. Thug Titian. These are the guys talking about the Manosphere. That was the original Manosphere.
Yeah, the originals. I see.
I mean, these are the guys that actually came into it, and they were Barbarossa, your original MGTOW. He's your original. Then you went over to Sandman,
and then you went to Turf Flinging Monkey. I mean, there's so many of them out there, you know.
But in the long run, bro, here's the thing. That also shows you the maturity. Now, person is 42 years old, and that brother, you got to get to his Black Light Logic is his Black Light Podcast is his name. Get over to his channel, and all he's going to do is just put his foot down harder. You know what? She's going to end up losing her channel and going back to Instagram. Now, Brother Ringo, what he did, he actually downloaded all of her videos on her channel. So look out for him. His name is Black Male Advice TV. Go over to his channel and look. He does a lot of reaction videos on her. Go look at him. He's supposed to be a Hebrew Israelite. Go look at his channel, and you'll find out what I'm talking about. All the videos that we're doing, he's already done, and he's going after getting her videos on her Instagram channel. So, and we got to keep putting it out there, Brother G, because the delusion is real.
Yeah. I mean, see, and this is the thing we talk about in the Red Pill community. You know, shout out to my other boy, Rebel Against Defeat, man. He has some fire MGTOW Red Pill content. Like he's like one of the supreme going your own way guys. I really like him. But for us, it's a couple things we accepted in the Red Pill community. Is number one, you have to expect that at any time you're going to get demonetized or your channel shut down. You have to walk into YouTube or any platform and understand that at any time, just know that, number one. Number two, you also have to understand that you're going to get criticized from mainly women and female manginas. Yeah, guys who are actually pussyfooting for these women. They're going to try to shut you down too. They're also going to tell you not to get your passport and stay here and deal with land wills and women with psychological issues and single moms with multiple kids by multiple kids' dads, right? And then the last thing you also have to understand too when coming in is it's about, importantly, not just getting the YouTube money. If the YouTube money cools, okay, great. If it comes, it comes. It don't for the monetization. But it's mainly about getting the message out there to the current and the younger generation to understand female nature for what it is, and also to understand that there are guys out there who are pandering and encouraging these women's fucked up bad behavior and wanting you to just deal with it and shut up and say nothing about it. No, we want to put that message out there no matter how many channels get shut down or demonetized, and no matter how many guys actually gets criticized. Shout out to my boy, Austin Holloman. He's a young, new guy to the Manosphere. He's got over 11,000 subs in about a week to 2 weeks, man. Shout out to him. His channel's been blowing up about encouraging guys to get their passport, man, and also exposing these women for who they are in North America, and they are not liking it. They actually try to threaten this man with violence and everything, but he said it right off the gate the other day. He said it's not going to stop him from going to Brazil. It's not going to stop him from finding the cooperation and the women that he wants. It shouldn't. You know, if anything, you just move to Brazil and just do it broadcasting there and just lead these guys up.
Let me and I know the passports, but you also got to be careful with some of those other countries because, see, their brothers, when I was over in the Navy, Yeah, it was great, but there were some brothers going to the wrong parts of town, and some of them got pickpocketed over there too. And they were going in. I mean, they weren't going in the right part of town. So you got to be sure when you go over. If I'm going to go travel, before I even look for women, I'm going to look at the architecture. I'm going to go out there and understand the culture first. And I think, and I believe that's what you all are talking about too. A lot of people. So I want to cover for the passport brothers. I don't believe a lot of you all say get your passports. Now it's interpreted that you all, the passport bros, are encouraging guys to go look for sex overseas. Now, depending on how you take it, I don't necessarily believe that. What I believe you're saying is you're encouraging brothers to travel because really black men, because of their circumstances, they've been in jail, they owe child support, they can't get passports. More African American women travel, but they go to a lot of your tourist places like like Jamaica. They love to brag about the cruises that they go on. So you're basically encouraging brothers to do the same thing. Don't say none of these sisters, they're not going over there getting men. They are as well. But when I tell a brother to go travel, I say go look at the country, go enjoy the foods, go understand the people. And I believe now you do have some individuals who are pumping and dumping. I don't subscribe to that, but from what I'm hearing, maybe it's not coming out as blatantly as I'm saying it. You're encouraging brothers to go travel to see how it's like in other countries. I know you mentioned Brazil and Rio de Janeiro. I would caution if you're going to go travel, look at the country first before you start looking at women. Because let me tell you, I've been to some of these countries, and believe it or not, some of these women over there, they got, we call it the gut. The gut's the same thing as the hood. Some of those women are single mothers as well, and they're looking to get out of the country. And then when they get over here, guess what? They're going to follow the American law, and they're going to turn into flaming feminists. And you don't want to, you got to be very careful too. That's why I say travel, but don't go traveling for the sake of looking for women to have sex with first. Go, when I travel, I want to go to enjoy myself. I want to be able to have pictures of me eating some good Mediterranean food, or going to Great Orient, seeing the architecture, looking at the Chinese culture, like the Great Wall. Brother Deshaun says that pumping and dumping while in another country is going to get brothers caught up. Facts. That's exactly what I've been saying. See, if you go there,
what we really talk about, man, and thank Deshaun for actually saying that, is this: we want brothers to travel for better options. All right, no matter if it's sex, no matter if it's better food, no matter if it's culture, right, or whatever. Don't convince yourself that North America, i.e. United States and Canada, are the only places on the planet, and there's no other countries out there. There's no other countries out here. It got so bad out here to the point that they're trying to normalize a man that a woman that is over 250 fucking pounds is a beautiful goddamn woman that you should be able to deal with, that has a badass attitude and multiple kids by multiple kids, that they're trying to normalize that. But when you step outside of North America, it's a different ball game. These guys live in societies where the men run things. They don't have the laws out there like out here, where the laws are backing the women up and encouraging the women to act out and support their bad behavior. They don't have those laws. Those are countries where men run things. The governments are actually strict. You understand? Now, are there portions of men that go over for sex? Of course. But what we teach is this, is that when you go over to that country, right, the sex and the women is just the topping of the cake. Okay. But what you want to do prior to traveling, right, is do your research and do your homework. Pay attention to a lot of these videos of guys out there who are actually boots on the ground and actually are there that can show you from their experience, but also know that your experience is going to be totally different from the next person. You understand? I've heard many of guys who actually said that when you go to Medellin, Colombia, right, there's a high probability that you're not going to get robbed, you're not going to get poisoned, and da 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 da. You're going to have a great time. I know guys down there who actually stand down there. Shout out to Love Crossing Broders with Andre and Andrea, man. He's down there right now living it up. Never had anything bad happen to him. But, and I mean, but there are a portion of brothers who went down there and these guys made bad decisions. And there was guys who pulled up on them with motorcycles and told them to give them their chains and their money. And they said no, and they robbed them. And some of them lost their life and some of them came up, missing. I mean, it just really kind of depends on you. And that's why I always tell people before you travel, make sure you do some research, network with the other groups. We got multiple groups on Facebook, of guys who are actually down there in those countries and guys who've been in those countries. I would highly advise a first-time traveler to go to Thailand or the Philippines, man, because you're not going to see a lot of that shit go on in Southeast Asia. You'll see a lot of it in like Colombia, or some parts of Africa, but in Southeast Asia, man, I've barely heard of any red flags in those particular countries.
When I was in the Navy and we went over to other countries, we actually had Navy personnel who lived in those countries. They would come to our ship and tell us about the country. We had a USO that had information about the countries, where to go, where not to go, and we actually had a much better time. And see, what I'm saying, Brother G, is women weren't at the top of our list. It was the experience that was at the top of our list, because I was in the military and I went for free. Okay. I didn't have that. So I got to see those places. I want brothers to understand that everything is 100%. I mean, because you do have women over there who are gold diggers as well. And if you're going to go to another country, don't stick out like a sore thumb either. I don't know if
that's true,
but Americans tend to stick out. And guess what? Yeah, you might seem like at that point that you're in demand. No, you're in demand for them to take your money, and you're in demand for them to send you to jail. You got to be very careful. You have to understand the laws of the other country. There is no constitution over there like we have over here. You have to understand the government. Some of the governments in these other countries, like China is purely communist. Cuba is communist. Venezuela was communist. Colombia, it could be communist. I don't know, but you have a number of them. I believe North Korea. You talk about the Orient. North Korea is communist. Now, Taiwan and Thailand and the Philippines, they're not communist. So you've got to understand.
Yeah, they're more socialistic. I mean, it's a different ball game.
Totalitarian. So if you talk about people in their government, they may take you out and put a bullet in your head. Some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like in Brazil, they just right now the president, I guess, is trying to negotiate on a law where it's in Colombia, where if there's a motorcycle driver and he runs up on you and try to rob you, you have 100% permission to just shoot him and kill him on sight. Like it's real out there in Colombia. This is in Colombia. Yeah, it was too much of this out there. Yeah.
Colombian cartels out there. Shout out to Deshaun. He agrees with you. Brothers should go out and experience the world and not limit themselves to one place. Just traveling for the wrong reasons, it's not a good thing. That's what I'm saying. Go travel to enjoy yourself. Don't travel just to have your mind set on getting women.
Yeah, because when you travel, the women are going to come. They're there, like they're there on a silver platter. However, though, right? Once you get the women, and that's fine, that's cool. Enjoy the atmosphere. Enjoy the fact you get to have a good night's sleep. Enjoy the fact that you don't have to go take your ass to another United States job or get hit with taxes. I mean, these are like little problems that we got to deal with here, man. Or you're not walking down the street and a woman got about 4 kids, about 3 different kids, that you don't have to deal with that shit over there. But we also preach too that when it comes to women coming to the United States, it's not as simple as fly over there and bring her back. No, man. Number one, it's a process. Number two, I always encourage guys, don't bring these chicks here. No, you go to her country, spend time with her, see how the country is and how she behaves over there. And then if she wants to come over here, in my opinion, I just say go ahead and have her pay her own way at least twice. Okay, God damn it. She got to put some skin in the goddamn game, But it's not simple. But it's not simple, like I said, to just go over there, get her, and she's going to come back and live happily ever after and get a green card. There's a lot of stupid people out there who preach that shit, but it doesn't work that way. Right. If they look up the real green card process, right? The real visa process right there, that would actually have them that much intelligent. But they don't look it up. They just assume, oh, he's going to go over there, boom, bring her right back, and then boom, she's going to get a green card just like that, and she's going to take him for everything he got in divorce court. It doesn't fucking work that way. It's a process for this. But there are guys who actually have went through the process, whatever, and also too, right, got robbed by those women and hit for divorce court and all that other stuff, what have you, got the green card and all that stuff. But you know what the problem was? It was 2 things that the guys didn't do. One, they didn't vet the woman appropriately, right? Which I always tell guys, that the woman says anything like she's destined to come over here, but she's always want to be over here in the United States or Canada or United Kingdom, that is a red flag. Don't have shit to do with her. That's number one part of the vetting process. The second thing, right, is that whenever you actually date these women, right, or whatever it may be, right, you don't bring them over, right, and come out of pocket real soon. That's what these dumbass guys do. They go ahead, they meet this woman, they get blinded by the beauty, come out of pocket and try to harry her up to come over here, harry her up to marry her, and they didn't have time to vet her, and then before you know it, now they're financially obligated to someone who treated them like crap, and that's just how it is, So be careful when you travel. Be very careful. I represent the guys who actually do have passports, haven't traveled yet, but are looking for better options to prepare themselves before they travel.
I would just say, before guys are going to do that, network with the guys who've already been over there, network with the guys who are over there. Let them give you a real assessment, because some people are going to give you a nice flowery nuts and berries assessment. And what's going to happen is the person is actually going to listen to that. Again, you have to listen to people and you have to look at their actions. It's like somebody telling me, I can show you how to make $1 million, but they don't have $1 million. They're giving you hope. Okay. Don't deal with people who are going to give you hope. Deal with people who are going to show you reality through their actions. Like I said, I went over to the Navy. Yet was I treated greatly over there? Were we? We were like ambassadors over there. But here's the thing: we weren't over there that long, though. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, when you're over there for a little bit and you start getting used to the culture, then you'll find out how everything really is, because they got crime over there too. They got drugs over there too. They got everything we got. We just don't see it because we're so enlightened.
Thank you.
Away from here, we don't know what's going over there. We become naive, and this is the only thing. And I've traveled myself, got the passport. I know what it is, but I'm just giving reality to the situation. Go over there, travel for the right reason, and if you do that, you're going to have a lot better time. Even if you don't get a woman over there, you can come back and just say, I saw some exotic infrastructure. I was at some exotic beaches. I saw some exotic animals over there in Africa. I saw
Thank
Dubai,
you.
big. You come tell me that? Okay,
Thank you.
you're almost becoming a travel agent, but if you're going over there saying, "Oh, I went to Brazil and I got a woman," I don't even know if that woman you got was a prostitute. Some of the women prostitute themselves.
Thank you. Yeah.
People show you
And
it's easy to go over there and hear somebody talk when, in essence, they're not really being real themselves. I mean,
thank you.
they could go grab one of these single moms out of the gut and say, "I got a beautiful woman." Find out she robbed you, she used you for your money, she got your brother. You got to be careful with people. So
right. And that's why I made that video about the vetting process, man. The vetting process and the red flag process in the dating stages and when you first meet these women is very crucial moment. I tell these guys the first 90 days to 6 months of you meeting that woman, it's not perfect, but it's a good bird's eye view, a rule of thumb of what the hell you're going to be dealing with in the future. And you need to ask yourself after you see the red flags or some of the things she's doing or her fucked up bad behavior, or she could be the angel. She could be pretty good or whatever, but she could be very deceptive. But you need to ask yourself, is this somebody that I can actually deal with long term or not? Can I deal with these particular habits or not? And number two, make sure don't get stuck on one country. No, man, you got to fill that passport up, man. You need to get multiple stamps because just because you have one bad experience in the other one country and one city, don't mean you're gonna have a bad experience in the other X amount of countries that are out there.
I'm going to tell the brothers this: watch, and you're gonna think I'm crazy. People do. This is why I watch shows like The Amazing Race, and I love my mama's. Watch The Amazing Race. They race around the world. They go to different countries, and some of the things they do, they get maps. They go ask people. They learn about the culture. You got to learn something about and you're not going to learn overnight about that country. You just go over there and learn the basics about that country. And then once you have some basic knowledge, you may go back to that country and run into a familiar situation and you know how to deal with it. I mean, what I'm doing is giving you the real SYSBM on traveling here. I'm not giving you the so-called nuts and berries YouTube version of some people telling you about traveling and they haven't even traveled out of their city. I'm giving you the real deal on what you need to do where you can really have a good time. That's what I'm giving you because you wanted to talk about it. So I figure since it's just you and I, we're talking about it. So, when you go back there, because I've been in different countries a few times, and
he said a few times.
there's some bit. I mean, I didn't care too much for Honduras with those big ass mosquitoes, hot as hell down there. And I was in the military, and we were doing their sea huts for them. Going down there in the jungle, and it's hot. Everything looks good through rose-colored lenses. It's like a job, okay?
He said like a job.
Well, think about this. You go to a job, you get an interview. The interviewer is making everything look good while you're sitting on the outside to try to give you hope, to try to give you an image. But the funny thing about it, if you get in, you're going to find out that the situation is much different once you're in there than when you are out, because now you have been integrated into a system that you may agree with or you may not agree with. But in the end, you made a decision based on what somebody else told you. No, research. This is what I encourage people to do. And this is why I call myself the 411 Talk Zone radio show. I encourage individuals to educate themselves and just to, this is real red pill knowledge here. You got to know how to navigate yourself, not just through the United States, but through the world. And if you can do that by reading, by asking questions, by filtering out or disseminating the bad information, you're going to have an easier time with things. And if you do it without getting emotionally involved, some guys, when they fail, they give up. I mean, I know I felt that way sometimes, but I learned that if you're going to make it in life, you have to understand there's a world out there, and the world is a labyrinth. And if you go the wrong way, you're going to hit a wall. You have to make sure that you map yourself through what's going on out here. Understanding news. And in some of those countries overseas, you go there, they got terrorism over there. You could be sitting at a nice restaurant in South America, over there in Egypt, or over there in the Middle East, minding your own business. Somebody walks in with a bomb and blows everybody up. Then what? People aren't accounting for that. You need to go where you got some good security. You need to go to where you can get people not to, especially some of these taxi cab drivers. They know you don't know the country, so they're going to try to rip you off. You can't expose your money. Don't stick out like a Thor song. Like I said, brother, I'm giving you some real SYSBM because
I have a question for you, 411.
yeah.
I tell people on my channel the biggest thing I regret was not listening to the older guys who've been to the military, who've been to the Navy, especially the Navy, and the Army, and the Air Force and the Marines. Because these guys, they fucking been there. When they say they've been to some countries, believe them. When they tell you guys, hey, get your passport, believe them. And here we go. In my case, 20 years later, I'm really like kind of regretting it. I had to get my passport later on in life and everything. And I could eliminate those problems, a long time ago. I'm like, at the time, I'm like, oh my God, what if I get shot? And oh my God, what about the girlfriend or whatever, right? But here I go years later, and I'm like, I see what these guys talking about. But here's my question to you.
Okay.
What was the most positive thing that you've experienced overseas that you'll never, ever forget?
One of the countries I thought that I wasn't going to like, and it was very positive with the people and architecture, it was Turkey. I went over to Turkey. Believe it or not, they had some good food over, and Greece. Good heroes over there. See, but I went over there for the architecture. But
okay.
The thing about that is the people were very, very nice over there. They spoke. So you got to go to where people speak English. And over in Turkey, they spoke English. Yes, they had a lot of Muslims over there, but it was a clean. When I went over there, it was a pretty clean country over there, and we were well respected as long as we respected their country. Now they have cultures over there. You can't go over there acting like a fool. I'm telling you, you can't. You get put up in one of those jails, you ain't coming back.
He said it's a done deal. Once you get in those jails, it's a wrap. It's a done deal.
You look at what's her name, the basketball player went over to Brittany Brenner, whatever.
The girl in Russia. Yeah, the girl in Russia.
Yeah, you don't want to end up like that because over there in those jails, let me tell you something. You see the movie Midnight Express, it'll show you about a Turkish prison. They're going to beat you on your back and on the bottom of your feet. We saw that movie. You go in some of these African prisons, bread and water. It's not like here. Now, people are I'm giving you the real side here. You go over there, you got to be on some act right. If you're not on any act right, you're going to wish you could come back here. Listen, I'm giving you the real SYSBM that they're not telling you. I've been over there. I went over there in the military uniform, and we stuck out like sore thumbs over there and could have gotten ambushed with some crazy individuals over there.
Okay.
I mean, I even went over to Toulon, France. You got to be careful everywhere you go. Nice countries, Monte Carlo.
He said nice countries.
Cartagena, which is an Italian island, Sicily, very nice. But they got cartels and all kinds of things over there. What you saw on TV with The Godfather, that's actually true in Sicily. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, don't. That's why when you go overseas, make sure you're going over there for the experience. Forget the women. You know, if you happen to find somebody that you or family that you get along with, that's one thing. But don't go over there you looking for women as your first priority, because you know what, you're gonna run into the wrong women. You're gonna think you got something right, you're gonna get ripped off.
So let me ask you this. So for the younger audience that's listening to this, should I go over there scared and paranoid that something's going to happen, or should I go over there optimistic?
You can still go over there optimistic, but go over there optimistic for the experience. Don't go over there looking to pound something. You know, come back. You know, people want to hear about what kind of food did you have? What kind of architecture? Did you go to the beaches? What kind of culture? That's what people are looking for. You got to be able to be. You got to be the travel agent. What kind of current exchange do they have? What kind of government do they have? That's what you need to ask. You know,
wow.
you know.
And you said in Greece and Turkey was your best and most positive experience.
Well, yeah, because I went over there. You know, I was on a ship, and I was also in the construction battalion, and heck, you know, I got a chance to look at the architecture, and some of the architecture was fantastic over there.
Wow.
Because the architecture, some of it, and I went over to Cairo, Egypt too.
Wow. With this stuff. Wow.
Well, but you know, I got a chance to look at well, how do they build these pyramids? See, because I went over, that's the experience. Looking at the Sphinx, going into the Mediterranean Sea, looking at the Rock of Gibraltar. Okay. If you go in there for that, you're going to enjoy yourself. But if you're going over there just to get laid, you're not going to enjoy yourself. You're not. You know, you go over there. The purpose of traveling is to get out of your and even here in America. Let's say if you don't want to go over, I'll tell you a nice place to go. I was on a ship. Go to Bermuda. That's not bad over there either. It's about maybe 400 miles off the coast of North Carolina. It's a British colony, but it's nice. Go to Puerto Rico.
We tell guys to stay away from countries that have anything that are close to America, anywhere close. We tell them to avoid that, and they've been getting better results because there's a high probability if you go to those countries or whatever, they're going to be dealing with some type of feminism and some type of toxic, independent, I don't need no man entitlement behavior, you know. And we had guys that come back and report on that shit, you know, when they went to when they go to Jamaica or any place that are real close to the United States.
Jamaica, no, you don't necessarily want to go to Jamaica or Barbados, because you know why you got that? Because many of the ABWs go to those. See, the ABWs go.
Yes, thank you.
So you don't want to go there.
Even the DR, they're talking about the DR also too, man. You know, they're starting to get those women are starting to be entitled down there.
You don't want to go to the DR. You want to go to the places like the Azore Islands, just outside of Lisbon, Portugal.
You're naming some stuff I've never heard of, and see, this is the conversation we need to be schooled on countries that guys don't talk about. You're breaking it down, man. I love it
because these guys have gone. Palma de Mallorca, Spain. I'm talking about these little islands, and right in the I'm going in the Mediterranean. Nice places, nice food, nice people.
Wow.
And plus, I'm giving you these islands because Crete is Turkish and Greek. Okay,
Right.
A lot of these islands, they have cities there, but they're not large. You want any place you go, you want to stay out of the large metropolitan areas anyway. Like Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, that's a large city, and urban is urban. You want to go into the countryside. That's where you get better results.
Right. Yeah, they did say that. They were saying the same thing about the Philippines. Like, if you want to go into provinces and the countryside out there, and that's where you can really, you're gonna see the level of the behavior of certain people is going to be totally different in the bigger cities. Just people in general.
To tell you the truth, even here in America, you go into the country, the small towns. You're in the Midwest. I'm in the Midwest. Yeah, you got some knuckleheads. And I think here's the problem is, even if you go to other countries, social media is over there too. Facebook is over there too.
And we talked about the social media over there, but the point is that and the one thing Master Teacher talked about, shout out to him. I hope you got those emails I sent you, man, about those videos, those long video. Okay, yeah. Whenever you get some time, just peep them out. Whenever you get some time, man. But he was saying, man, a woman having, let's say, 100,000 Instagram followers compared to a woman over in America that's having 100 Instagram followers, it's a totally different ball game. She's not going to have that level of entitlement, nor have that type of guys who are forking over, handing money over, as opposed to the woman here in the States will. And because the governments are not set up like that, and a lot of those women over there, their English is not as good as an entitled, feministic North American woman. It's a different animal, Well,
like I said, even here in the United States of America, the best places to travel, in my humble opinion, are in the country or the mountains or the small towns. See, black folk don't go there. Black folk don't even get out of the hood. They're always going from urban area to urban area. That's all they know. Let them stay there. The best places.
He said, "Let them stay there."
The best places.
I was just on the phone talking to a guy who wanted to do business with me, and he's in Utah and everything. We were just naming a whole bunch of cities that I used to go to in Utah. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. If I ever decided to stay in the States, because in my future I want to leave, okay. But if I ever decided to stay in the States or whatever, I would retire out there in Utah. And the reason why I would, because from my experience out there, this was some years ago. This was back in like 01, 02. There was no violence out there like that. You're not seeing no shootings, no one killing anybody or anything. I would really retire out there. And it's a Mormon community. I did not deal with any discrimination or racism. I just did not. The people were absolutely genuine out there.
Let me tell you another state that's here.
I was going to also consider Vermont.
No, it's too expensive. I've been to Vermont.
You've been to Vermont?
Yes, too expensive.
Wow.
New Hampshire. That's the North. That's the New England states. Stay away from. They're expensive. They're extremely liberal. You want to go to some place like the Dakotas or Montana or maybe Idaho. Yes. That's where you want to go if you're here.
Yeah, I heard about the Dakotas big time. If you really want to seriously retire, go to the Dakotas.
Yeah, you know. So you also have to look at the United States as, yes, we're under the same government, but you got to look at how the states are run. And the states that have the highest population, like California and New York, they're the highest tax. So you don't want to go there. Texas is a big state as well. It's almost its own type of country. But again, if you're going to travel, even overseas, you're best going into the countryside. It's just better.
Yeah. I've even considered Wyoming, man. Like if I ever. Wyoming, because I went to Cheyenne. There was like nothing out. It was peaceful. I mean, it was like so damn country out there, man. It was like
not either.
It showed me when I went to Wyoming. That showed me a lot. It showed me, damn, this is because I didn't travel a lot in my time, but it showed me, damn, the United States have really a lot to offer. Right. If you really learn to step outside of these metropolitan big city areas,
Most black people are glued to the metropolitan areas. But look, I've been on here about 3 hours and 20 minutes. So I want to get on and off, man. And we talked about our traveling thing. I'll be up here next week, and we got each other's phone numbers. We can talk more. I know I get a little bit busy, but brother, just want to hear your last comments of the day or the evening on the topics we talked about.
You got it. Okay, great. Well, thank you for bringing me to the show, and hope you guys please make sure you guys click the like button, subscribe to this man's channel. He has all types of red pill content. Please go to his older content. It still applies today. I'm telling you. But thank you, 411. I just want to say, though, there are so many delusional women out here. It is insane, and men. People with serious psychological problems. Okay, they're undiagnosed. And I want to tell you guys to please be careful out here, because you can easily lose your life out here, lose your house, lose your job, because people, they're not in their right mind. I talk about people who actually have mood swings where they shift with the wind. I mean, there's a lot of that out there. So it's something we have to live around. But you also have to learn how to limit your interactions with those people. You understand? This is all you have to do. Don't entertain them as much. Just limit your interactions, and you'll kind of manage the situation appropriately, So, but as far as the Kendra G lady, man, like I said, though, man, that video we showed, I mean, I know you didn't know nothing about it, but to me, it showed her true colors of who she truly is and what she is capable of doing. I mean, I hope she becomes successful, but at the same time, until she comes on the air and address her issue and say, hey, look, I do got a problem, and hey, listen, I want to apologize to my audience about my behavior or whatever, and taking accountability, I don't see anything else changing in her lifestyle as much as she wanted to change, So people have to be willing to change. It's not something that you can just flick on a light switch and they're going to do. So anyway, 411, thank you for bringing me to the show. Also, you guys out there, get your passports, man. Travel, man. The passport community, the black passport community, and the red pill community is the big talk of the town right now, okay? The MGTOW community is the big talk of the town right now, okay? So there's a reason why these guys are getting their passports. There's a reason why guys are showing results, receipts, and being happy. There's a reason why these guys are exploring their options. It's not necessarily just for women. No, it's all about getting a better deal. That's all that is. So anyway, 411, thank you for bringing me to the show. You have a very good night, and you take care, sir.
All right. Salute, brother. All right. Well, that wraps up another show. Pretty good show for Wednesday. Although I didn't have much panel participation, but that's okay. We got the topics out here. And just to sum up everything, there are a number of delusional people out there. I know there are individuals right now using Kendra G's videos. I use one. I don't have any problems with Kendra unless she's, for what she wants to do, but she has to learn how to call out the women like she does men. And when you hear a woman start referring to somebody's body part, small body part, or somebody thinking that they're above reproach, they're the big fish or you're the small fish, but yet you've been on the platform a little longer and you know what's going on these streets, and she's getting upset because people are using her content, or he's getting upset. Well, you put the fair use up there like I did, because we're all trying to make money. We're all trying to deliver good content. In the end, in order to make a better world or a better country, there has to be true information going around. Right now, we have a lot of propaganda coming from both the left and the right with this political football that's taking place. You have people here on YouTube doing a lot of gossip. The purpose of YouTube, from my humble opinion, is You get with like-minded people and you have conversation that is going to produce results. I always believe, like the late KS said, show your work, put all your action into what you want to do, but also take time to enjoy yourself as well. And understand who you are. Understand that you make mistakes. Sometimes you got to call yourself out. And the views that you deliver here on YouTube, they're going to be challenged. The bottom line is growth. And when you grow, you can become better than you were yesterday. But you have to want to grow. Everybody fails. There's no one above the other. I don't care how much money you have, how much education you have, how much knowledge you think you have. Everyone can learn from the other person. But you have to want to learn. And you have to want to do the work. Because in the end, information is power. It's all in how you use it. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for some educational content, you check out the QCIS channel, formerly the Mind of STEM channel. And on that channel, I give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. And I even go out there and perform my duties as a construction inspector in the field so you can actually see it on video. Now, if you cannot find the 401 Talk Zone radio show or the QCIS channel on YouTube, you can check both of those channels out on Twitter. Now, when it comes to the QCIS channel, I take it one step further because it's an educational channel. You can find a QCIS channel on my LinkedIn page. And I will be here next week with either some pre-recorded content or a live stream. And again, thank the panel and thank the chat for participating in tonight's show. And I'm going to leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And for individuals who get offended by the content or they don't get offended by the content, this cliche works both ways. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. And once again, thank you for listening and viewing this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show here on YouTube. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.